Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. A very, very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, founder and president of SME Chamber of India and Manufacturers and Exporters Association of India. I'm your host 𝗦𝗫𝗓𝗔, and it gives me immense pleasure in extending a warm and a hearty welcome to each one of you present here to India SME Finance and Investment Summit. The theme of this summit is strengthening SMEs to march towards 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗏 Bharat and capital market access for SMEs, opportunities and advantages. Without further ado, let's welcome the dignitaries on the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, founder and president of SME Chamber of India and Manufacturers and Exporters Association of India. Please join me as I welcome Shri Ashish Chauhan, managing director and CEO of National Stock Exchange of India Limited. A very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Please put your hands together for Shri 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, Chief Executive, Indian Banks Association. A warm welcome to Dr. 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, Ghosh, Group Chief Economic Advisor, State Bank of India. Please join me as I welcome Shri 𝗦𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, Director of SME Chamber of India, and Shri Mahmood Khan, Vice President of SME Chamber of India. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed, I would like to say a few words about SME Chamber of India. It is a leading organization working for the past 33 years for the empowerment of SME, manufacturers, startups and exporters to enhance business growth, export promotion, supporting for expansion of industrial activities in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, channelizing finance and investment, preparing enterprises for entering into capital markets, international collaborations, industrial automation, improvement of the quality product, and adoption of advanced technology for global competitiveness. The Chamber has been on the forefront under the dynamic and indomitable leadership of Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, the founder and the president of the Chamber, also the Manufacturer and Exporter Association of India. He has been putting efforts for securing the interest of SMEs and manufacturing industries by providing level playing field in ease of doing business, advocacy for policy framework change, speedy implementation of various schemes and policies, and encouraging new entrepreneurs to enter into manufacturing activities. The main objective of the Chamber is to support and handhold the SME entrepreneurs and manufacturing industries to contribute for the nation building and make India as a manufacturing hub and accomplish the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji to march towards 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗀𝗃 Bharat. Ladies and gentlemen, today's conference will be focusing on fueling the financial requirements to expand further business activities and diversification, as well as to transform enterprises to convert into emerging corporates. This event is also focusing mainly on entering into capital market to avail the alternative finance for further business growth and expansion. Looking at the current growth of capital market, this is the appropriate time to provide a platform to SME sector to understand the opportunities and challenges. Before we proceed, let me thank the supporters of this event, the NSE. Thank you so much for all the support, and as a knowledge partner, they have been with us in this event. State Bank of India as banking partner, Indian Banks Association and National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company Limited as well. Thank you so much for all the support. And now we will proceed in this event with the ceremonial lamp lighting. Ladies and gentlemen, I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please come forward for the same. हम भारतीय परंपरा के अनुसार अब हम दीप प्रज्वलन कर इस कार्यक्रम में आगे बढ़ेंगे.
सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will request Shri Mahesh the Director of SME Chamber of India, to kindly join us on the dais to address the gathering.
Good morning, friends. Respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, industry leaders, and my dear friends. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome all of you for this today's summit, India SME Finance and Investment Summit 2026. Today we gather under the inspiring theme, strengthening SMEs to march towards 𝗓𝗡𝗃 Bharat and capital market access for SMEs, opportunities and advantages. Friends, as you are well aware, SMEs are the backbone of Indian economies, and they contribute significantly to the employment generation, innovation and regional development. As we move towards the vision of the 𝗓𝗡𝗃 Bharat, empowering SMEs with the finance, investment and market access is not just an economic necessity, it is the national priority. Friends, today's summit is designed to bring together the policymakers, regulators, financial institutions, and industry experts to deliberate on the opportunities and the challenges that lies ahead. Over the course of today's session, we will explore the various topics like access to the banking, finance, and business growth expansion, India's economic outlook and implications for the SMEs and manufacturing sectors, capital market opportunities for SMEs, including listing advantages and investors' confidence, collateral-free finance, and the credit guarantee schemes which can transform the growth trajectory of the MSMEs. Friends, I'm confident that the insights shared by our esteemed speakers, including the leaders from the Indian Bank Association, State Bank of India, Shri Dr. 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃, SEBI Chairman, NSE, Ashish Chauhan, 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗃, and other distinguished organizations will provide the actionable strategies for SMEs to thrive in this evolving financial ecosystem. Friends, the journey towards 𝗓𝗡𝗃 Bharat requires the collective efforts. It requires us to strengthen SMEs not only with the finance, but also with the knowledge, technology, and confidence to compete globally. This summit is a step in that directions, building bridges between the entrepreneurs, investors, and policymakers. On behalf of SME Chamber of India and Manufacturers and Exporters Association of India, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our partners, speakers, and participants for joining us today. Special thanks to NSE, State Bank of India, 𝗕𝗏𝗃 for their support to make this event a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mahesh Kumar. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we move ahead. And I would like to invite Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, Founder and President of SME Chamber of India and Manufacturers and Exporters Association of India, to address the gathering.
Good morning. गुड मॉर्निंग। मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि गुड मॉर्निंग की आवाज़ दिल्ली तक पहुँचनी चाहिए, क्योंकि एमएसएमई की आवाज़ दिल्ली तक नहीं पहुँचेगी तो अतुल जी मुझे नहीं लगता कि विकसित भारत होगा। ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ एसएमई चैम्बर ऑफ इंडिया एंड मैन्युफैक्चरर्स एंड एक्सपोर्टर्स एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया, it's my immense pleasure to welcome you all first, and dignitaries on the dais, Shri 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃, Chief Executive of Indian Banks Association, Shri Ghosh, Chief Economist of the SBI, and who is we can call now as a policymaker because he has given a lot of inputs for the 16th Finance Commission and also the Prime Minister's Advisory Council. So let's give a big hand because he is representing our thoughts, our issues, and presenting to the Finance Minister and Prime Minister. My friend Mahmood Khan, who is the Vice President of India, or SME Chamber of India for the Northern region, and especially taking care of the banking and financial sector. Mahesh Kumar, one of the director who is main force of my organization. Ms. 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃, one of the also director, Mr. Sanjay Kher, Shri 𝗂𝗃𝗃 Gupta ji, Durgesh Pandey ji, Ms. Khan, leading advocate from Mumbai, my friends from Korea, friends from industry, media, and entrepreneurs, and few students who are invited from the finance sector, that they will also understand what is the importance of the NSE, what is the importance of the stock exchange, what is the importance of capital market, and what is the importance of the financial fuel created, developed by the banking sector for their starting a new business. Friends, today's conference is focusing on more on finance and investment. But we are doing program at NSE, especially for the, how to encourage entrepreneurs to enter into capital markets. आज अगर हम देखेंगे कि हमें टाटा, बिरला, अंबानी क्रिएट करना है तो बड़ा मुश्किल है. ये 20-25 साल पहले की बात होती थी तो चल सकता था. हमें आज किसे क्रिएट करना है? यूनिकॉर्न्स. एसएमई में यूनिकॉर्न्स भी बनने चाहिए, सिर्फ स्टार्टअप में नहीं. और आज की डेट में अगर देखा जाए तो इफ़ यू लुक एट इन पर्टिकुलरली इंडस्ट्रियल ग्रोथ, इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ, डेवलप्ड effort given by the MSME sector particularly. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर में देखा जाए, अगर टीयर 2, टीयर 3 सिटीज़ में देखा जाए तो MSME सेक्टर ही आगे बढ़ रहा है. फॉर दैट पर्पस वी रिक्वायर्ड अ फाइनेंशियल फ्यूल. सो देयरफॉर टुडे Shri Atulji Goyal will give an insight about what is the banking sector, because he is representing all the banks from India, particularly from the PSB bank, private bank, foreign banks, multi-state cooperative banks. So whatever the government is giving some inputs or suggestion or agenda or target, they are executing from all the banks. And similarly, whatever the banking sector economically doing for a particularly growth of Indian economy or particularly industrial growth. So what is the inputs presented to the government through this 16 Finance Commission ho, या फिर अपने Prime Minister's Advisory Council से हो. So all these parameters, and mostly what are the benefits, advantages declared by the Finance Minister in the budget. So in that region, in that regards, Mr. Ghosh will give you insight. Friends, SME stock exchange is very important for a MSME sector. Particularly those are looking for further growth. Entering to capital market will give alternative finance arrangements. Banks are there. 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗀 Pandey is sitting here. He will be giving you insight about how you can avail 100 crore loan. The 100 crore loan is not only for the manufacturing, but it is for the startups also. It is also for the exports also, buying advanced technology, capital goods. So these are the things are there. So friends, another point very interesting, MSME sector are always struggling for many reasons. Finance is not getting proper on time. Market is difficult. Manpower is not available easily. Somehow the corporates are not paying on time. Even though trades platform, even government has insisted and confirmed that all corporates and companies, the PSB companies will be listing on the trades platform. Then also many entrepreneurs are facing problem to get the receivable on time. Second most important, revival of sick units, revival of struggling unit. That is the most important thing. Most of the entrepreneurs are not understanding what are the facilities, what are the benefits, and what are the schemes and incentives available by the government departments. How many entrepreneurs sitting here, they are enjoying any facility from the government? How many entrepreneurs are taking the advantages of the schemes and benefits or policies? That is the most important. So our job is to create awareness, bring the stakeholders, interact with the stakeholders, raise your questions, give suggestions, and avail that services. Then only our SME sector will become a strong or empowered or strengthened then for a further growth. Today we are going to launch, SME credit check platform. SME credit check platform, Atulji, it's a unique platform. It's not a rating agency, it's not a grading agency, but it will showcase the strength and weaknesses of that enterprise. Because suppose if I want to supply to any large corporate will think ये इसके पास capacity है या नहीं है. So that parameters will showcase that what is the strength, what is the the advantages, and what is the benefit or what is the strongness of that enterprise. Management कौन सी है, मैनेजमेंट का काम क्या है, उसकी मार्केटिंग स्ट्रेटजी क्या है, उसके फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर क्या है, हाउ ही विल इम्प्रूव योर क्रेडिबिलिटी, क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस. अगर कोई सप्लायर आता है, अगर मैं समझो किसी को सप्लाई करता तो दैट रिपोर्ट विल गिव द इनसाइट, ये कंपनी अच्छी है, पेमेंट मुझे मिल जाएगा टाइम पर, मैं इनके साथ बिजनेस कर सकता हूँ. एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंटली, now many foreign companies are knocking the door in India for setting up their manufacturing units, finding a new partners for collaborations, particularly for joint venture, contract manufacturing, and mostly for particularly for the MSME sector. The MSME sector are having, particularly their manufacturing unit and state-of-the-art manufacturing unit. Then they will be beneficial from that. So this platform will give you very good insight, very good support to grow more, for further growth, and create confidence among the investor also, as well as suppliers and buyers also. So this is our one initiative we are going to take. Friends, MSMEs are always on a forefront. Now startups are coming on forefront. As I said, that, how we can convert our ideas into commercialization. So our plans, to give you platform, connect, communicate, and collaborate, or commercialize your idea. So this is our main objective. So therefore, today's conference we are organized. I'm sure that this conference will give you more insight, more idea, more support, and more information, which you will be utilized for further business growth. So I'm thankful to NSE, special thanks to Ashish Kumarji for providing hand-holding. Always he's on the forefront. And let me remember Dr. R.H. Patil, who has, the architect of this NSE, who was my good friend. And we should, give the Shraddhanjali or Adaranjali to him because of his, initiative, this kind of, this NSE platform he created. So friends, on behalf of SME Chamber of India, I welcome the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and let's take advantage. SEBI chairman will be reaching at exactly 11 o'clock. So we will be having a, meanwhile, address from the Atulji and Mr. Ghosh, and let's enjoy and let's take advantage of this conference. Thank you. All the best.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sarunkhe, for setting the tone of this event and giving us the overall perspective of the program. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite Shri 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃, Chief Executive of the Indian Banks Association, to address us on the important theme of access to banking finance for further business growth and expansion. Can we please put our hands together as I welcome him to address the gathering on this topic?
Very good morning to all. Eminent person on the dais, Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, promoter of the SME Chamber of India, Dr. Ghosh, Chief Economist of the State Bank of India, Mahesh as well Mr. Mahmood from the SME Chamber of Commerce, all the dignitaries, speakers, and participants. I welcome all of you this India SME Investment and the Credit Summit organized jointly by the SME Chamber of India as well as the Manufacturer and the Export Association of the India. It is really my proud privilege. It is a opportunity, rather it is a honor for me to be part of this 2 days event. I thank the organizer, especially particularly Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, for inviting me in this 2 days event. The theme of this 2 days summit, overall theme is the strengthening MSME to march the Viksit Bharat. It is a very relevant as on date. It is a very appropriate theme in the 2 days junction because everybody knows there is a great role of the MSME not in the India, in the entire world. They are the backbone of the economy. And the topic which just Salukaji has told me, ki assess of the banking finance for increasing of the business activity, definitely I will deliberate on this also. But if you see as far as global is concerned, and the India is also concerned, the MSME sector is very, very important for our country also because this MSME sector is creating the employment opportunity And not only the employment opportunity, they are the backbone of the Indian economy also. If you see the role of the SME in the Indian economy, GDP, it is more than 30%. And if you see the export, they are also creating the export. Export, mein, you will be surprised, more than 48% the contribution of the MSME. And if you see the contribution of the employment generation, more than 33 crore, they are providing the employment to the in the country, and the 7.47 crore MSME is working as on date, where the 90% MSME is the micro enterprises. So now you can understand this, as I told you, the 33 crore employment generation. It is the second highest sector in our country after the, as far as agriculture is concerned. And if you see the contribution of the MSME in the total manufacturing also, it is more than 35%. So this is very significant for all of us also. And globally, if you see, the globally the contribution of the MSME sector in the 90% total business as well as the employment, that is around 50% of the total employment also. And despite this, the contribution of the MSME, we always hear that there is a very difficult to get the finance by the MSME unit timely, always the educate also. And I am thankful to Mr. 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗔. He has given my job easy also. There is not the role of the only of the banking industries. There is a other factor also. Maybe the accounting, the sometime of the MSME unit, they are not keeping their record. Even the technical viability, etc. He has just touched the marketing, etc. also. So role of the banker is also important. But in my opinion, the every stakeholder who are associated with the MSME, they have to contribute how to increase the easy as well as the educate finance. I will come to that also. The one or two data, because the topic which we have given to me, ki MSME credit definitely it is increasing. I will support my statement with some of the data also. And if you see the growth of the SME sector as far as credit finance is concerned, from the December 24 to December 25, there is an increase of 31%. Credit growth the SME sector. And if you see the other sector, इसमें micro में 31%, medium 20.4%, and large industries में there is a growth of only 7.5%. So by seeing such type of the data, definitely bank are financing the credit to the MSME sector. So this is a very important, and now I will come to the most important thing, because as I told you, it is the responsibility of each and every stakeholder. First, we should see what government has taken the initiative to promote the MSME industries. Because as a banker, I am seeing last 30 years, lot of great initiative has been taken by the government time to time. First, if you see this, they have changed the definition also. Micro में the service sector has also been included. Micro, the investment 2.5 crore, then turnover is 10 crore rupees, and if you see the medium में that is a 25 crore the investment, the 100 crore rupees is the sales, and the most important medium 125 crore is the limit for the plant and machinery, and the 500 crore rupees the turnover. So definition they have rationalized also, and most important this 𝗕𝗵𝗏 registration portal. And service sector has also been included, even the retail and credit also been included for the priority sector. They have to register on the 𝗕𝗵𝗏 portal also. And another most important thing, some of the unit which you are seeing, they are very informal. For them to get the registration on 𝗕𝗵𝗏 portal is difficult. So government has brought this 𝗕𝗵 Assist platform also, in which with the less paper and it is an assistant model. Even the bank is also helping some such type of the unit to take the registration from the 𝗕𝗏 Assist portal. This is also a very good thing. It is available online and less paper is required. So this is also a very good initiative. And even the PM Mudra. because all the credit given to the PM Mudra, it is coming under the SME basically. So I will give one data 2014 mein, the total credit to this Mudra loan was 8.51 trillion. 8.51 trillion, which has increased to 2025, 31.08 trillion. And even not only this, I was just seeing the data in last 10 years, 52 crore has been, the unit has been financed, 52 crore. And even in the most interesting data, because there is a category of the Mudra, the Sishu, Kishore and the Tarun also, and Sishu mein contribution in the, it was 46%, it has reduced to 19%. Because the Kishore mein the limit is only the Sishu mein only 50,000. Then you see the higher limit is contribution is increasing. Similarly, if you see the Kishore where the 5 lakh rupees is the loan, so the contribution in this, it was 5.9% 10 years ago, it has increased to more than 44%. Similarly, the Tarun, where the limit is 10 lakh rupees, the contribution was around 10 years back 22%. Now it has increased to 29%. So now you can conclude like this: ki the role of the banker, etc. Also, they are giving the focus to the high limit to the such type of the employer, the person who want to take the loan on the PM Mudra. Then another very important, Durgesh is sitting here, the CGTMS coverage, which was up to 5 crore rupees, has increased to 10 crore rupees. It is a great achievement because every time we are seeing the complaint, hearing the complaint, sir, कि banker are not giving the loan, they are asking for the collateral. The government has brought already the limit of the 5 crore rupees to 10 crore rupees. I think no banker will ask for the loan up to 10 crore rupees. Definitely it is the choice of the borrower, because there is some guarantee fees if some of the borrower they are providing collateral also. So it is the up to the borrower. So this is a very important thing. And the one important thing also, the Durgesh is here, the rationalization of the credit guarantee fees also. Loan more than 1 crore rupees में उसमें rationalize किया है. Whatever the charges were earlier, it has been reduced. And the 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗔 has given the impress on the startup. For the information to all of you, IB has taken the initiative. First, we have made a common loan application form for the startup funding, and we have created a portal also. All the information, it is available on the 𝗔𝗃𝗏𝗧𝗠𝗏. So anybody who want to take the loan for a startup, they can visit to the 𝗔𝗃𝗏𝗧𝗠𝗏 portal. All the government is on the 𝗔𝗃𝗏𝗧𝗏 portal, and this is guaranteed by the government up to 20 crore rupees. As I told you, CG terms coverage for the MSME, 5 to 10 crore rupees for the information to all of you. For the export-oriented unit, it is 20 crore rupees. It is a 20 crore rupees. Yeah, so this is and the one important thing is this, the 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗔 has just touched the purpose of this summit in the NSE building for the how to improve the IPO to be floated by the MSME. So I have just data the SME public market 2022-23 to 2024-25 last 2 years में the SME IPO surge 87.2%. Last 2 years में this such type of the 87.2% increase is there, and the issue size में the amount wise 5.27%. And most important thing is this: there is a participation of the retail investor, and at the time of the listing gain is also in the SME, and the retail investor, they have also made the money also. The one more thing I would like to tell, self-reliant fund. This was the fund was started sometime in 2021 for a 50,000 crore rupees for equity to the MSME units. And the data which is available, 682 MSME unit has been provided 15,442 crore rupees. More than 15,000 crore से ज़्यादा equity participation fund has been provided. This was launched in the 2021, and in the budget also, current budget में the 2,000 crore rupees has become the top up. So it will become 52,000 crore rupees. So this is the budget में. And one more thing in the budget also, the budget has also proposed 10,000 crore rupees SME growth fund. That is also for the equity participation for the large type of the SME unit to provide the equity funding. And most important, 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗔 has also touched for this trades also. Trades also, this is a for the liquidity for the MSME also. And four things I want to take you. First, earlier every corporate who are having the turnover more than 500 crore rupees, it is mandatory they should come on the trades portal also. This limit has been reduced to 500 to 250 crore rupees, and all the CPSC जितनी भी government purchase है, without any limit, they have to onboard on the trades also. So this is a latest development. Each and every corporate, more than 250, they have to come. And most important, this act, where there is a stipulation for the 45 days. And I was in the discussion with so many SME borrowers. Now they are getting their fund timely. It was not implemented earlier. But now the auditors, while finalizing the result, if they have not made the payment within the 45 Act, they have to reverse this entry also. On account of this, there is an improvement in the liquidity to the MSME also. This act is working well. The most important now, I am coming to the digital lending part, which is the topic given to me, which is relevant for me, because now the banks, all the banks, whether it is a private sector bank, public sector bank, they are making collaboration with the fintech company, because fintech company have the capability. This is for the purpose of efficient, timely, and adequate finance to the MSME unit. So this is based on the cash flow. Because earlier there was a complaint that a lot of data is being asked from the MSME unit. So in such type of the lending, digital lending, the paperwork has reduced. It is based on the cash flow. If somebody is having the account in the bank, so based on their business rule engine, they have the data with the help of the fintech company. GST data is available, their cash flow is available, their income tax return is available, their 𝗓𝗍𝒂 score is available. So they are not asking any document. Without any document, paperless, this bank is providing. And for the information to all of you, all public sector bank, they are providing such type of the loan up to 25 lakh rupees. And even renewal, they are not asking any document. Some of they have the limit, each and every bank. Without any document, they are renewing the data also. And this 25 limit, from the IB side, we are trying how to improve to 1 crore rupees. So then we are talking to all the banker friends. They will increase up to 1 crore rupees. Even the State Bank of India, they are already providing such type of the loan of the 5 crore rupees. So by this method, traditional method has been completely changed. From the paperless banking. It is a paperless, from the paper-based banking to the cash flow-based banking. Only the bank is required to visit and the documentation के लिए आना पड़ता. Otherwise, customer is not required to visit such type of to take such type of the loan. And even the 𝗔𝗏𝗧𝗏 portal पे, because the guarantee is available, loan up to 10 crore rupees, the portal is available. They can apply here, and this guarantee is available ab initio, without making any effort also. And so this has reduced the debt, and this has ensured the adequate finance also. And this 𝗔𝗏𝗧𝗏 portal is being managed by the PSB Alliance, which is incorporated by all the banks only. So one more important thing which I was seeing in the budget also, because I think, in my opinion, two things is very important. One has already been taken care by the Chandkanji, restructuring also. We should work. It is the responsibility of we, because I have seen in my practical experience, sometimes the unit need the held holding. The another important thing is the awareness. We have to create the awareness ki which type of the document or the paper or they are required. As I told you, ki if you don't have the account in the bank, because whatever I told digital lending, if you have the account, even with the account aggregator, help of the account aggregator, the customer who are having the account with some other bank, then can also be fixed. So awareness is very important, and hand holding is very important. Even you see the budget also, budget mein there is a provision. Now the government is taking the initiative to make associate with the ICI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Company Secretary, as well as the Institute of the Cost Management. So उसमें tailor-made program will be developed, and it will create the awareness, and the person who will give the training etc. to the SME borrower, they will be called the corporate mitra. आपने सुना होगा business corporate, business बीमा मित्र, और ये अलग तरह के. But ये जो है बजट में इस बार the Honorable Finance Minister has given, this will be a corporate mitra. So lot of initiative has been taken by the government also, and I can assure from the IBA side, as the chief of the IBA, on behalf of all the bank community also, I think credit will not be come in between for the growth of the SME. As I told you, there is a other factor also, marketability also. In nutshell, I can say there will not be any dearth for getting the finance for the viable project. So with this word, I will not take much of the time also, but time given me already, I think I have exceeded the time also, but I try to complete each and everything. With this word, thank you. Thank you to all, and once again my thanks to the 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗧𝗓 sahaba for inviting me in this. Thank you. All the best.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Goel, for that insightful and forward-looking address. We deeply appreciate your presence and your thoughts. I will request Shri 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗪𝗓𝗃 to kindly present a small token of appreciation to Mr. Goel for his participation in this summit. Also, before we move ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request Shri Hitesh Patel from State Bank of India. Okay. Says already. May I request Shri Mahesh Kumar, the Director of SME Chamber of India, to join us on the stage to present a bouquet to Mr. Hitesh Patel. I will now request Shri 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗪𝗓𝗃 to present a small token of appreciation to Dr. Soumya-Kanti Ghosh. Gentlemen, today marks a significant milestone for the SME and manufacturing ecosystem of our nation. The SME Chamber of India proudly launches the SME Credit Check platform, a transformative initiative designated to strengthen credibility, unlock the finance, and accelerate business growth. I will now request all the dignitaries on the dais to please come forward for the ceremonial unveiling of the SME Credit Check banner. Well, this platform will provide valuable services to enterprises, allowing them to showcase their strengths, core values, growth trajectory, and financial background. It also offers the honest look at the business ecosystems, management roles, and strategic plans for the increasing profitability. This platform provides reliable information and reports that surpass traditional credit ratings and business gradings. SME Credit Check will highlight essential information regarding an enterprise's credibility and creditworthiness. This aims to attract new customers, suppliers, investors, and international partners for strategic collaborations, joint ventures, and technology transfer. By showcasing these details, businesses can unlock opportunities for contract manufacturing, acquisitions, and sustained expansion. Furthermore, these reports will define specific action plans for enterprises to provide value-added services, whether they are expanding existing operations or setting up new manufacturing units. The Chamber has taken the lead to enhancing the capabilities of our members for 10x business growth, ensuring they are strengthened for global competitiveness. This initiative does not just generate reports to highlight weaknesses. The Chamber will provide active hand-holding to help rectify, transform, and revive business activities. Together, we will achieve the success necessary to contribute to the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Viksit Bharat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving ahead, I would like to invite Dr. 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗃, Group Chief Economic Advisor, State Bank of India, to address the gathering on India's economic growth, opportunities and challenges for SMEs and manufacturing sectors, highlighting on the budget of 2026 and 27. Can we please welcome him with a thunderous round of applause?
Good morning all. My special thanks to Shri 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗧𝗠𝗘, Founder and President, and Shri 𝗫𝗫𝗃𝗀, Director, SME Chamber of India, and all those guests today and on the dais for cordially inviting me to this very important ensemble, where the theme is very apt today: strengthening SMEs to march towards Viksit Bharat and capital market access for SMEs. What are the opportunities and advantages? I think this should set the course in right, optimal, and future-oriented policy formulation and regulatory changes, which are a continuous process for next-gen reforms for the MSME. If I start with, if you look into the global trends and classify the MSMEs, show that it is widely differs across jurisdictions and majorly depends upon the government policies of the country. A comparison of some of the countries reveals that most of them are using number of employees as a variable to define MSMEs. In India, in fact, interestingly, MSMEs have been traditionally defined based on investment in plant and machinery and equipment, which has since then largely given way to the twine system of factoring turnover-based criteria, which is a rational, transparent, easier to implement step with the introduction and operationalization of the GST. Additionally, the increasing registrations under GST, as also optimal pace of registration on 𝗬𝗏𝗏 and 𝗬𝗏𝗏 Assist portal, has led to the formalization of this sector to a great extent. Recent amendments that including retail and wholesale trade under the MSME umbrella should make the ecosystem joined at hinges and bring synergy that percolates to betterment of smaller players in particular. I will give you some data which actually shows the evolution of the sector in the last couple of years, which has been remarkable. In recent years, the sector has displayed remarkable resilience, with its share in the country's gross value added increasing from 27.3% in 2021 to 29.6% in 21-22 to 30.1% in 22-23, highlighting its growing role in national economic output. In 24-25, the public data shows that MSME-related products accounted for 45.73% of India's total exports, reinforcing their role in positioning the country as a global manufacturing hub. You know that India has been trying to do that significantly, and the last budget, which we'll talk about, is a step in that direction. MSMEs have seen substantial growth. In 2021, this was 3.95 lakh trillion. Today, this number is at 12.4 trillion in 24-25. The number of exporting MSMEs have also surged, increasing from 52,849 in 2021 to a massive 1,73,315 in 2024-25. So basically, in 4 years, the numbers almost tripled. The contribution to Indian exports have also grown, reaching, as I said, from 43.5% in 22-23 to 45.79% in 24-25. These trends underscore the sector's increasing integration into global trade and its potential to drive India's position as a manufacturing and export hub. Some numbers I'll give you. As on date, the total number of MSME registration indicate a healthy figure of around 7.7 crore firms. In fact, I think last time when we did a survey on this MSME, that was in 2016 when the number revealed 6.6 crore. Today, I think thanks to these 𝗬𝗏𝗏 registrations and UAP registrations, 4.6 on 𝗬𝗏𝗏 and 3.1 on 𝗬𝗏𝗏 Assist portal, which makes a figure of around 7.7 crore. And a dominant share consists of micro enterprises, which is 99%. Data also points to 34 crore employment generated, while the share of various scores are likely to be trading, which is 3.32 crore, services 2.8 crore, manufacturing is 1.6 crore. Around 40%, which is 3.303 crores of the firms are owned by women. That's a remarkable number, with Maharashtra topping the list of states with 72 lakh registrations. In comparison, if we just make a comparison globally and at the USA, in comparison, small and medium-sized enterprises considered as the bedrock of US economy also constitutes 99.9% of all US businesses, numbering approximately 33.2 million to 34.7 million firms. So basically everywhere, while employing every 6 in 10 workers. These firms employ roughly 46 to 47% of the private workforce and contribute 40% plus of the US GDP. So I think the contribution of the SME actually remains remarkably similar across countries, whether it's a developed economy or whether it's a middle income economy like us. The majority again are small business with fewer than 500 employees, a criteria used by the Small Business Association of USA. MSMEs in the United States are only half as productive as large companies, compared with 60% in other advanced economies, even though they grow into a meaningful share of very large corporations in the US. That's basically the value chain. Needless to say, the rhetoric, small and medium enterprises are the backbone of any economy and is export competitiveness while contributing significantly to employment across jurisdictions, more so in emerging economies, as I just said. Despite their centrality in fostering a culture of entrepreneurship, structural challenges remain, including access to finance, have remained relatively limited when compared to larger funds and are usually reckoned a major operating constant for SME transition and the organic growth. Things have significantly changed in the last couple of years, which I will mention to you. The limited financing to SMEs globally, it's a global phenomenon, derives from their nature. They tend to be informal. That's why the formalization is important. Less public level information, governance, and unfamiliar landscapes, all of which results in high information asymmetry and risk, as sometimes discouraging lending by financial institutions. Many times these firms also may fall short on offering additional strengthening mechanism that can be used as a supplement security to mitigate enhanced risk of FIs as traditional or conventional lending practices demand. Sometimes also these firms may find it costly to list in capital markets or raise equity while remaining low or late in technology adoption. Even though when they list, sufficient capital market financing may not be available. So there are many problems, but the important point to note is that I think if I mention some of them, the SME ecosystem has a lot of issues, but most of them has been corrected. For example, the first is the technology. The SME's convergence with enabled technology remains muted at best at the cost of associated with acquiring such technology. Because, and so that's what important is ensuring a digital platform with participation from startups, enabling easy access to evolving sector-specific technology can ensure a level playing field towards better and timely access. The second important point could be, the issue could be equity. While access to formal credit by MSC has of late witnessed significant ease and traction, I'll give you some numbers. Because of the relentless pursuit by policymakers, the industry associations to enhance overall ease of doing business, access to credit score and transaction history, and heightened awareness among the intended class. So basically, there has been good policy support in this area, but democratization execution will be the key. Next is also the governance pattern, how the challenges faced by the MSMEs transform vividly, as I say, economies of scale, and changes in their organizational management and ownership structures. And of course, the information asymmetry with a plethora of schemes available across tiers. Unfortunately, sometimes there are a lot of schemes the government offers, but the information, there's an information asymmetry, people may not be aware of it, and convergence of market forces driven largely by shifting geopolitical contours. The availability of right and in-time information remains elusive to majority of enterprises. So it's important that we create a robust digital platform with end-to-end digitization at multiple points of touch for onboarding to different parts of journeys in life cycles on the enterprise, and involvement of credit guarantee funds as an umbrella organization, which could provide an all-inclusive advisory services and platforms to SME, can help the sector achieving its true potential. In fact, many of these things has happened in the last couple of years. While drivers of risk appears to be plenty, the best news is the mitigating mechanisms destined to gain the upper hand through novel experiments and evolving regulations that interplay along technological innovations are on the rise. This aims to put in place a robust mechanism that encourages access to in-time financial solutions, credible business on information, and eventually creating a harmonious ecosystem for MSMEs to thrive. For example, to build up lending and enhance confidence of financiers, credit guarantee trusts are a great mechanism, offering much better protection to lenders, either at loan level or portfolio level, while ensuring borrowers are not hard-pressed for exploring collaterals that have a high implicit weightage and opportunity cost. In fact, at SBI Research, we have painstakingly been battling for fine-tuning the guarantee mechanism, reducing the premiums through better risk rating and probability of default recognition, making it a natural choice for new as also existing SME borrowers. In fact, the credit guarantee scheme in the Indian context has been a significant success. Since banks are freed from capital provision on guaranteed portion of loans, it frees up significant lendable resources which can enable a higher allocation for additional credit to these MSMEs. In similar veins, platform-centric discount of trade receivables. I think one of the problems of this SME is getting the funds within stipulated fund of time, streamlines the cash flows while underwriting decisions based on credible information of sources, help in offering timely and adequate financing to a larger chunk. The use of alternative data sources and big data analytics, which for example for a bank like us is doing to a significant extent, is providing additional information sources to the credit risk assessment process, which will undergo transformative changes with the advent of the artificial intelligence. Let me give you some numbers. To put things in perspective, MSME credit growth has galloped at an average rate of 15.4% in the last 5 years. The all scheduled commercial banks credit has been 11.6. So it is actually outpacing. For the 15-year period, last 15 years, the average MSME credit growth has come to around 14.2% against 12.2% for the scheduled commercial bank. But the revelation is credit growth for the period ended December 2025 for the MSME for which the latest data is available is 28.5%, which is double the scheduled commercial bank's overall credit growth of 14.5%. That indicates that a leading indicator of thrust by policymakers, regulators, and financial institutions on the importance accorded to SMEs. A credit growth of close to 30% is remarkable in a system with overall credit growth is actually less, around 15%. This is basically a turnaround story for the MSME credit, which needs to be told in detail. I think my earlier speaker also talked about this, and I will talk about this a little bit. The MSME credit, which grew by a merely 5 to 7% during 2011 to 13, is now growing in double digits. The aggregate outstanding credit to MSME sector stood at 32.77 trillion as on end March 2025. This number was 20.1 trillion on FY22, and it seems poised to cross the psychological threshold of 35 trillion in the current fiscal year, which is ending March, a tipping point of embracing accelerated growth in times ahead as the secular credit demand hints. So you can understand the growth, 20 million in March 2025, and could actually touch 35 trillion in 1 year. That's a growth of 15 trillion. Further, the credit guarantee covered for micro and small enterprises has increased from 5 crore to 10 crore, enabling additional credit of approximately 1.5 trillion cover over 5 years. And this point, I think, is very close to 𝗔𝗃𝗂𝗓𝗃𝗃. As per CIBIL report, only 15% of the credit active commercial borrowers are registered in Uddam portal. That is 94 lakhs out of 6.3 crores at that point of time on March 2025, where 99% were micro enterprises. If I just take a ballpark figure of penetration rate of say 25% in micro borrowers who will get bank credit, the potential credit comes to around 24.3 trillion, which could actually additionally flow to these sectors, which is 7.4% of India's GDP in FY25 and 13.4% of the outstanding bank credit. State-wise credit penetration varies from 11 to 17%. Telangana is leading with 17%, Gujarat 16%, Punjab, Haryana, Kerala at 16%. So the potential for credit growth through this sector is huge if we just consider the numbers on a conservative scale. If I now just go towards the end, the budget this year has been truly being a game changer for the SMEs in continuation of earlier years wherein the focus has been on factors of production. Manufacturing has emerged as the prime area of forward-looking vision, reviving industrial sectors to strengthening domestic manufacturing of high value and technology advanced construction and infrastructure equipment. There is a revival of 200 legacy industrial clusters and 3 dedicated chemical parks, rare earth research, mining, processing, and manufacturing. India semiconductor mission, second semiconductor mission, and big steps in exciting areas like biopharma Shakti bode well for India's competitive process. Myriad tax reforms across direct and indirect avenues should also boost these sectors. MSMEs this year also has been bestowed with unconventional strategic actions, including a dedicated 10,000 crore SME growth fund and a top-up mechanism for the Self-Reliant India Fund of 2,000 crore to provide equity support to the micro enterprises. Finally, the reforms in the trades, blending financial obligations with commercial operations, bodes well for the ecosystem as a transaction settlement mechanism for the central public sector enterprises can be the benchmark for all corporates in future. The CGT MSC support for further acting as a confidence builder for stakeholders. Linking the GEM portal and the trades as also envisaging trade receivables as asset-backed securities to develop a security secondary market should boost liquidity and should lower the cost eventually. Finally, before ending, I think India has been embarking on the global stage as the voice of the global South. As the Honorable Prime Minister has been mentioning repeatedly, and an important credible alternative to existing power blocks, rapidly embracing digitalization, financialization, and formalization, which can all showcase the way forward in harnessing good policy and governance measures that will bolster systemic confidence, will lay digital heavy yet efficient architecture for all stakeholders. Eventually, it will usher in transformative best practices for the MSME units as change agents while they build for the world at large. Challenges are always there, definitely many, but the scale and potential of opportunities, as I just showed you through some of the numbers, the phenomenal growth of the MSME in the last year, in fact this year, is equally overwhelming. Thank you all, and thank you for giving this opportunity, and thank you for the patient listening.
Thank you, Dr. Ghosh. It's very important and very beneficial information you are given. So, Shri Pandey ji, SEBI chairman, has arrived.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are honored to have with us Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, Chairman of Security Exchange Board of India, SEBI. A very, very warm welcome to you. I'll request Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey to kindly take a chair on the dais. Along with him, we have the Managing Director and CEO of National Stock Exchange of India Limited, Shri Chauhan, the founder and the president of SME Chamber of India and the Manufacturers and Exporters Association of India, Shri 𝗔𝗡𝗘𝗏. A very, very warm welcome to all the dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, a very warm welcome to India SME Finance and Investment Summit. My name is Mayuri Malankar, and I'm delighted to be a host for this event. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that SME Chamber of India is a leading organization working for the past 33 years for the empowerment of SME manufacturers, startups, and exporters to enhance business growth, export promotion, supporting for expansion of industrial activities in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, channelizing finance and investment, preparing enterprises for entering into capital markets, international collaborations, industrial automation, improvement of the quality product, and adoption of the advanced technology for the global competitiveness. The Chamber has been on the forefront under the dynamic leadership of Shri 𝗔𝗡𝗃𝗏, the founder and the president of the Chamber, also the Manufacturers and Exporters Association of India. He has been putting efforts for securing the interest of SMEs and manufacturing industries by providing level playing field in ease of doing business, advocacy for policy framework exchange, speedy implementation of various schemes and policies, and encouraging new entrepreneurs to enter into manufacturing activities. The main objective of the Chamber is to support and handhold the SME entrepreneurs and manufacturing industries to contribute to the nation building and make India as a manufacturing hub and accomplish the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to march towards 𝗕𝗏𝗡𝗃 Bharat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite our dynamic leader, the founder and the president of SME Chamber of India and the Manufacturers and Exporters Association of India, Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, to deliver the introductory address. Can we please have a big round of applause for him?
Good morning again. On behalf of SME Chamber of India and Manufacturers and Exporters Association of India, it's my immense pleasure to welcome Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, Chairman SEBI, my dear friend and always supporter to MSME sector, Shri Ashish Chauhan, MD and CEO of NSE, friends from manufacturing sector, SME sector, startups, media, NSE Stock Exchange, finance sector, banking, and of course, the new entrepreneurs also present here. On behalf of all both the organization, I welcome you at this very, very important program. I'm thankful to Mr. Pandey for accepting my invitation, because, and rather he has understand that MSME है तो इंडिया है, MSME है तो इंडिया का इकोनॉमी है, MSME है तो लेबर और मैन पावर जनरेशन है, MSME है तो एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ सकता है, और MSME है तो ही विकसित भारत हो सकता है. So let's give a big hand to Shri Pandey ji for particularly for attending this event, and will be addressing for our better future. Sir, when 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗁 took a charge 3rd February 2008, second day I met him, I said, we have a big vision, particularly for starting a SME stock exchange. And I'm very happy to inform all of you that Mr. Bhave took a very good interest. And after all, this SME platform came in the operational from 2011, I think 9th July 2011, when the BSc Foundation Day. And Ashish Kumar is a witness for that program also. All MSME sector are depend on the traditional finance, banking finance. Without financial fuel, not a single entrepreneur, not a single enterprise, not a single company will grow further. Finance fuel is most important, like that manpower, market, mindset and level playing field is also most important. SME Chamber of India last 33 years putting efforts to integrate the SME entrepreneurs, startups, manufacturers, exporters, to give support and handhold for further growth. Mr. Pathak is sitting here. He was one of the key stakeholders for taking our vision, India's vision, to the national level. Under his dynamic leadership in 𝗕𝗏𝗃 also, I had seen a lot of inputs and developments. Currently, every government, every policymakers and every diplomat or anything, they talk about MSME sector very proudly. जब वक्त आता है सपोर्ट देने का, जब वक्त आता है उसे सहायता देने का, तो सब पीछे हट जाते हैं. ये मेरा लास्ट 35-40 इयर्स का अनुभव है. हमारे अगर सोल्जर्स को बिना वेपन बॉर्डर पे भेजेंगे तो लगता है हम वो वॉर जीत सकते हैं. वैसी हालत हमारे एमएसएमई सेक्टर की है। जब तक हम उनको फाइनेंस फ्यूल, लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड, पॉलिसी स्कीम्स उनके लिए, उनके भविष्य के लिए, उनके फ्यूचर डेवलपमेंट के नहीं अगर इम्प्लीमेंट करते तो मुझे लगता है इट इज़ इम्पॉसिबल टू अचीव विकसित भारत। सर, you are aware that you have worked in a state, you have worked in a central government, you had seen the progress for last 30-35 years. MSME should be transformed more than what we expect now. Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Finance Minister, Honorable Commerce Minister, they are putting efforts to provide a level playing field. बट कुछ पैमाने पे उनको दोष देने की जगह हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स भी नहीं सही है। जितनी सुविधाएं आपको उपलब्ध की गई है, वट एवर द सपोर्ट सर्विसेज, इंसेंटिव्स एंड स्कीम्स मेड अवेलेबल एट द गवर्नमेंट, कितने लोग लेते हैं? पाठक जी, आपको तो अनुभव होगा ही। हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स नॉलेज गैदरिंग के लिए बहुत काम पड़ते हैं, तो ये काम चैम्बर कर रही है, अदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कर रहे हैं। Somehow, Pandey साहब, I have taken one initiative to create entrepreneurship. आज एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की जरूरत है। देखिए, आज AI, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आया हुआ है, तो लोग कहते हैं इससे क्या होगा। हम चाहते हैं कि एडवांस एंटरप्रेन्योर क्रिएट किए जाए। AI का मतलब एडवांस एंटरप्रेन्योर। एंटरप्रेन्योर कैसा होना चाहिए? इंटेलिजेंट, उसके पास ऐसे स्कीम होने चाहिए, आइडिया होनी चाहिए, स्किल होना चाहिए कि हाउ दे कैन कॉम्पीट विद द वर्ल्ड मार्केट। सिर्फ यूएस मार्केट पे हमें भरोसे पे नहीं रहना है। व्हेन ट्रम्प अंकल हैज इम्पोज टैरिफ, आपने देखा कि हमारे गवर्नमेंट ने अलग अलग क्षेत्र में, अलग अलग कंट्री में हमारे मार्केट ढूंढना चालू किया। सो वी शुड नॉट डिपेंड ऑन वन, वी शुड क्रिएट एमर्जिंग मार्केट, वी शुड एंटर इन एमर्जिंग मार्केट। सो एंटरप्रेन्योर कैसा चाहिए? नोटेबल चाहिए, नोबेल चाहिए, नोट वर्दी चाहिए, जिससे कि उसकी क्वालिटी, उसकी इम्पोर्टेंस लोगों तक पहुंचनी चाहिए, एंड ट्रांसफॉर्मेबल भी चाहिए। क्योंकि हर टाइम आप जो बाबा आदम के ज़माने की हमने लेथ मशीन ली वापर रहे, बट आर यू गेटिंग अ प्रोडक्टिविटी फ्रॉम दैट? एक्यूरेसी है उसमें? नहीं है। तो ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करने के लिए हमें एंटरप्रेन्योर में एक नया सुझाव लाना है, नया बदलाव लाना है। रेजिलेंस, एक रेजिलेंस होना बहुत जरूरी है। तो एंटरप्रेन्योर क्रिएट करने के बाद उससे होना चाहिए। सर, वी हैव लॉन्च टुडे मॉर्निंग SME क्रेडिट चेक प्लेटफॉर्म, द प्लेटफॉर्म विच गिव्स प्रॉपर हैंड होल्डिंग टू द एंटरप्राइज, क्रिएटिंग, जैसे हम बैंक में जाते हैं नो योर कस्टमर, वैसे हमने क्रिएट किया नो योर सप्लायर, नो योर बायर, नो योर एंटरप्राइज, नो योर पार्टनर। इसके माध्यम से हमें पता चलेगा कि ये कंपनी कितनी क्रेडिबल है, उसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी क्या है, क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस क्या है। उस माध्यम से उस कंपनी को सप्लाई भी मिल सकता है। नहीं तो कभी कभी आजकल ऐसा है कि मैं अगर माल किसी को देता हूँ, क्या मुझे पैसा मिलेगा, नहीं मिलेगा, मेरा रिसीवेबल आएगा, नहीं आएगा, ये बड़ा संशक्ता रहती है हमारे सप्लायर्स में। सो दिस प्लेटफॉर्म विल गिव यू प्रॉपर इंसाइट ऑफ दैट कंपनी, द कंपनी विल गिव यू प्रॉपर इंफॉर्मेशन दैट आई एम कैपेबल। एंड सर, दिस प्लेटफॉर्म विल ऑल्सो project the companies those are having state of the art manufacturing unit, the companies having capacity for to productivity, capacity for the enhancement of the manufacturing activity. We also going to give a hand holding for a manufacturing excellence, क्योंकि आज की डेट में ग्लोबल कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस नहीं होगा तो हम चाइना, कोरिया, जापान, जर्मनी, इस कंट्री के साथ, उनके प्रोडक्ट के साथ हम कंपटीशन नहीं कर सकते। To survive in competitive market, to enhance the productivity, to enhance the growth and enhance the profitability, ये हमारा focus रहेगा। Sir, now MSME sector is dependent fully on banking sector, but now the SME stock exchange here, we are sitting here, specially मैंने program एक होटल में रखा था, मैंने यहाँ पर shift किया with the I requested आशीष कुमार जी की, I want to create an atmosphere amongst entrepreneurs। आज का ये प्रोग्राम ऐसा है कि यहाँ पर से जो एंटरप्रेन्योर सिटिंग है, बैठे हैं ना, उसमें से 10-20 तो IPO के लिए तैयार होने चाहिए, और जब पांडे साहब से मेरी मुलाकात हुई थी तो मैंने कहा अभी तो 1300 कंपनी लिस्टेड है, मैं चाहता हूँ अगले 3 साल में 5000 कंपनियाँ लिस्ट होनी चाहिए। आई वॉन्ट टू प्रिपेयर देम टू लिस्ट ऑन SME स्टॉक एक्सचेंज। हमें क्रिएट करना है कॉरपोरेट, एमर्जिंग कॉरपोरेट। SME शुड बिकम अ एमर्जिंग कॉरपोरेट, देन ओनली वी कैन कॉम्पीट द वर्ल्ड मार्केट। नहीं तो अभी चल रहा है, चलता है। और दूसरी बात क्या है आशीष कुमार जी, एक महत्वपूर्ण जो क्लॉज 49 जो बना गया SME स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का जब फाउंडेशन हुआ, तो आई हैव पर्पजली रिक्वेस्टेड SEBI चेयरमैन मिस्टर भावे कि इंक्लूड बिजनेस एथिक्स एंड गुड गवर्नेंस। नाउ यू एडेड फेयर बिजनेस प्रैक्टिसेस। तो देखिए कैसा है, अगर आप गुड गवर्नेंस, बिजनेस एथिक्स को अडॉप्ट करते हो, फेयर बिजनेस प्रैक्टिस अडॉप्ट करते हो, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपकी क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस बढ़ती है, क्रेडिबिलिटी बढ़ती है, एंड देयरफॉर यू आर गोइंग टू एंटर इन कैपिटल मार्केट। तो उससे आज हमारी क्रेडिबिलिटी बढ़ने से आपके पास इन्वेस्टर आ सकते हैं, अच्छे कंपनीज आ सकते हैं, सप्लायर आ सकते हैं, बायर्स आ सकते हैं। अब सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है आपकी क्वालिटी, आपकी प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ती है, क्रेडिट वर्दीनेस बढ़ती है। फॉरेन companies, they are knocking the door of India now, setting up manufacturing units, joining for hand for a contract manufacturing. सर हमने एक नेशनल SME मैन्युफैक्चरिंग मिशन भी लिया हुआ है, एक सेटअप किया है, एक प्लेटफॉर्म, जिसके माध्यम से हम एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को हाउ दे कैन इम्प्रूव देयर प्रोडक्टिविटी एंड इंडस्ट्रियल ऑटोमेशन, पर्टिकुलरली फॉर टू गो फॉर फर्दर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। इसके साथ साथ हमने ग्लोबल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैपेबिलिटी सेंटर का भी एक प्लेटफॉर्म क्रिएट किया है। आज ग्लोबल कैपेबिलिटी सेंटर्स किसके लिए जा रहे हैं? IT के लिए जा रहे हैं, जैसे अभी अलग अलग टेक्नोलॉजी रिलेटेड। बट हियर ग्लोबल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैपेबिलिटी सेंटर, दोज एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, दोज एंटरप्राइजेज आर हैविंग state of the art manufacturing unit, they can be a potential partner for signing a contract with the foreign countries. So these are the initiatives I taken, especially for the MSME sector and manufacturing sector. So this is our plans in future and plans for the next 5 years. So I want to assure आशीष कुमार जी आपको भी कि अगले 3 साल में एटलीस्ट 5000 SMEs we can say, capable SMEs should list on MSME sector, and उसमें से 50% they should migrate to the main board. ये हमारा रहेगा, हमारा डिसीजन रहेगा, हमारा एक इनिशिएटिव रहेगा। मुझे लगता है आज का इस प्रोग्राम आपके प्रेजेंस में, आशीष कुमार जी के सपोर्ट में, मुझे लगता है हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को एक बढ़िया इंकरेजमेंट मिल सकता है। एंड आई एम श्योर दैट दिस विल बी डेफिनेटली मार्च टुवर्ड विकसित भारत। ऑनरेबल फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर हो या हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर जी ने जो आपको विकसित भारत का जो आज एक विजन दिया है, एक टारगेट दिया है, वो पूरा करने का काम आपके पास है, हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के पास है। तो मैं चाहता हूँ लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड किया जाए, एक अच्छी पॉलिसी की जाए, जिससे हमारे MSME सेक्टर को बढ़ावा मिले, अच्छा फ़ायदा मिले। और मुझे लगता है यही मौका है कि हमें इसको आगे बढ़ने का और देश को और हमारे भारत देश को आगे बढ़ाने का यही मौका है, इससे फ़ायदा लेना चाहिए। विद दिस वर्ड आई एम थैंकफुल टू पांडे साहब टू एक्सेप्टिंग माई invitation and attending this conference. Ashish Kumar ji, special thanks to you. Without taking name of our Dr. R.H. Patil, I will not complete my speech. R.H. Patil ji को जब से मैं देखा हूँ NSE का जो प्लेटफॉर्म किया है, आज देखिए कितना बड़ा वृक्ष हुआ है। So we should give thanks to him also and Ashish Kumar ji for creating this platform. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Mr. Salunkhe. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we move ahead. And now it's my privilege to invite Shri Ashish Chauhan, Managing Director and CEO of National Stock Exchange of India Limited, to share his views on the capital market access, advantages, benefits and challenges for the SMEs and manufacturing industries, and the initiative of NSE for creating various awareness amongst SMEs to enter into capital market. Can we please welcome him with a big round of applause?
Chairman SEBI, respected Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, Chief Executive Indian Bank Association, Shri 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗧𝗠𝗘𝗏, Founder and President Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Shri 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀, distinguished leaders, esteemed professionals from market institutions, industry, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to join all of you at the India SME Finance and Investment Summit, the annual event being organized by the SME Chamber of India and the Manufacturers and Exporters Association of India, with the theme, Strengthening SMEs to Match Towards Viksit Bharat. I thank Shri 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗪𝗓𝗔 for keeping this flame alive. It's not easy to run this kind of associations. He has been doing it for last, at least I know, for 30 years. And that is a commendable thing, because finance is usually not available for such places. So we tend to support all his activities in all areas, because SME is the heart of India. SME creates jobs which no other sector creates. And today, two large things have happened. One is the new trade agreements which we have signed. Earlier, there used to be multilateral agreements where we were part of WTO and other places where all the countries used to jointly ensure that the trade between them is well regulated, well organized, and the tariffs are in a way proportionate. Later on, from 2025, the multilateral arrangements have started now going down, and the bilateral arrangements have started coming up. There are reasons I will not discuss today, but broadly, in the new era which has started after January 2025, India has been the largest bilateral agreement creator in the world today. We have, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, we have created bilateral agreements, and very beneficial bilateral agreements which are going to give access, better access to all of you to those advanced markets. Many times we may have advanced manufacturing, better products, but due to tariffs which were being given specifically to other countries which were lower compared to India, we were not getting to sell our goods there, and that's why we were at a disadvantage. Today, broadly speaking, whatever I have seen, literally all the arrangements of bilateral, we have an upper hand compared to our neighbors, even China in many cases. And so it's going to be, for me, a new era of manufacturing that is going to start. In last 40 years, China has captured the entire manufacturing market in the world. Today, between 30 to 40% of all manufacturing in the world is now done by China by various estimates. And nowhere other than year 1000, where India used to account for 50% of world's manufacturing, today China accounts for 30-35% of world's manufacturing. So this is literally after 1,000 years, one country has been able to capture because of the good tariff framework, good other entry points that China was able to create. Now that is breaking. And you are going to have a better advantage to go and crack those markets. For me, it's going to be a golden period over next 30, 40, 50 years of India's manufacturing. And so all of you need to now take advantage. What happened in 30, 40 years? We were not able to crack outside markets. Today, now you are going to have at least a level playing field, sometimes better field to go and explore those markets. So please, now don't hold your horses. Go out and do things. Second thing is the artificial intelligence. Like electricity, artificial intelligence is going to be there in everything. Today, I can't speak to you just now without electricity. And you can't see me on the screen without electricity, and all mobile, everything is electricity. When it was created, nobody would have thought it will be so all-pervasive. But AI is going to be similarly horizontal technology, all-pervasive, but it's going to happen very fast. So if you don't use it in all our day-to-day life, in lathe machines also, I am myself an engineer and a mechanical engineer that, so lathe machine is something very, I'm used to. But whatever machines you use, try to automate them, try to incorporate AI. Yesterday only I tweeted that one of the Chinese companies, 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗊, has issued a new operating system for robots using AI. And it's happening so rapidly, if you are not involved in that field, you will not even understand how fast it's going to take a lot of things into its control. And all of us will have to start tinkering in our own businesses to ensure we use the AI in whatever possible way. And it's not very costly. All of us should be able to use it in a reasonable way, including downloading in your own computers. You don't have to go out on the cloud and other things. But these two changes, which are going to be very rapid, that is the bilateral trade from multilateral trade, bilateral arrangements from multilateral arrangements, is a rapid change which is geopolitical. And AI is a technological change. Both we need to ensure that we are able to keep in our mind. And I will urge 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗔 to, I have told him that this is, there are other sort of auditoriums also in NSE building. Weekends, they are available. You may want to call some of the entrepreneurs, show them how all these things can happen, including the new arrangements, the bilateral arrangements which we are doing by calling experts or AI experts to train some of you how to incorporate many of these things in your day-to-day life, in your businesses. So now that brings me to the issue of the funding. That entrepreneurs, especially on SME, and I have been a small entrepreneur myself, and as 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗔 said, that when we send people to war without good guns, then it's not easy to win wars, right? But the fact is, India has been a capital-starved country. It is true with not only entrepreneurs, but with farmers, with taxi drivers, with railways. Everywhere we have capital which is lacking. And so we cannot say that somehow government has to provide us. At the same time, today, India started funding itself. India's total GDP is now $4.2 trillion. We save somewhere between 27 to 30%. So almost $1.2 trillion we are saving now as a country, which is very large. And large part of that is now coming into the financial system, which used to be not the case earlier. And so large amount of money is coming into the financial system, including banking, stock markets, insurance, and many other places. And that money can be made available to entrepreneurs if you have plans, if you have ability, if you have a track record to ensure that you are able to attract at least some people. Today, NSE alone has a market capitalization of listed companies of more than $5 trillion, which is fourth largest in the world. And 12.5 crore unique investors are registered with us with 25 crore accounts. So 12.5 crore is actually 9.25 crore males, 25% women, 9.25 crore households, which is 1/4 of India's households. So literally 25% of India's households are now investing through NSE. And that's a situation where if you go to a private equity person or a venture capitalist, angel investor, they may not invest in you because they might invest in somebody they know or their business models, because they all have a framework through which they invest. But NSE has 12.5 crore investors. Even if you're able to convince 10,000 investors about your story, even 1,000 investors about your story, you will get that 5 crore, 10 crore, 20 crore. People are raising 5 crore on NSE. Today, 5 crore rupees, you will not get a flat in Borivali. But if you don't have money, and many times I say, if you want 1 crore, NSE will get you. If you want 1 lakh crore, NSE will get you. But naturally, people have to trust. NSE is just a platform. We can't force anyone to give you. You have to have that compelling story as an entrepreneur. So money is not a constraint for good people with track record, and also people who have plans. See, basically for me, an entrepreneur's life is a very difficult life. Sometimes I say, in a movie, you are the hero, you are the heroine, you are the singer, you are the extra, you are the director, you are also the projector person, and also you are sitting on the ticket window also to sell the same tickets, because entrepreneur can't even fall ill. You are an accountant also, you have to go and collect, say, money also, you are selling other side, you are manufacturing, people fall ill, but you can't. You have to give salaries on time, you have to take care of unions, you have to take care of all political parties, everyone who comes to you. Your wife also will not be able to understand you, right? So for me, entrepreneur's life is very difficult. But it is also very exciting because you are able to create income. You create income, and traditionally India has been a basically entrepreneurial country over thousands of years. But how to create wealth from income is where you need to come to markets. Many of you think that once, I have been running this business for 30 years, probably some of you are running business for, as a intergenerational, three generations, 4 generations. And you say, why we should be going and market? Because then we have to give answers to people. Somebody will come and take over our companies. Nothing of that sort happens. Newspaper will keep on writing. See, this is 18% of world population, 140 crore people. A dog biting man never comes in news. But man biting dog comes in news, right? And 140 crore people, at least there will be 10,000 cases every day of man biting dog somewhere, at least pretending. So only that comes in newspapers, and you think all in India, everyone is, all men are biting dogs. That is not possible, right? So why I'm telling you this is, over all this period, you need to understand that somewhere nobody takes over your company unless, of course, you get a good returns. SEBI has set up good regulations. So nobody is going to take over your companies. When you come to the markets, you dilute or you sell out only 25% of the shares. 75% remain with you. So that's why nobody can actually take over your company, because you are the majority holder still. But when you come to the market, you get that funding from that 25%. Over last 14 years, 2012 first company, 2011 and 2012 first company got listed on SME segment. Today, we have 1,400 companies between NSE, BSE, which are listed. And average, they've raised 20-25 crore rupees. But today, those 1,400 crore companies have market capitalization of almost 4-5 lakh crore. Many of them, almost 20%, have gone to the main board. So that has allowed you to create wealth. See, what happens is, we have a turnover of, say, 100 crore. We get a income of 2-3 crore before tax. And after that, we pay tax, it becomes 2 crores. Each year, you will get 2-3, little growth, 2 crore, 3 crore, 2 crore, 3 crore. But that is for me an income. If you want to come to the market, your 25% can be, total company can be valued at, say, 100 crore. So instead of your 2 crore income, you are converting into 100 crore wealth. Right? So converting the income into wealth is what market does. But it also gives you an ability to get free publicity. You know, as an entrepreneur, how difficult it is to get any press release of yours even taken by the newspapers. Nobody takes anything, especially of SME, right? You launch a new product, nobody cares. But today, 7 channels on television are talking 24 hours about new companies, old companies, that is the business channel, CNBC and all, Z Business and all. So you will also you will start getting some traction there free of cost. So that is also a good advantage. Then there will be analysts. There are, of course, YouTubers and all. They will also be able to talk about you. But you can also do succession planning. You are running a business for 30 years, 40 years, 2 children. How do you give one business to them? If you have listed, then you can give it to, give the shares to children. One of them can run or both of them can run, whatever. But idea is, so many benefits of the listings are there. It is only lethargy which is stopping us. And of course, if you want to stay where you are, 100 crore ka business hai. I was running on cycle, then I came on scooter, now I am running Mercedes, now my life is over. If you are there, you don't want to grow, then don't come to stock market. Many times I say that what is the commonality between Dhirubhai Ambani, Ratan Tata, Azim Premji, Narayan Murthy? Because they are all in different business. But commonality is that they all became billionaires because they listed on NSE. So if you have an aspiration to become billionaire, which I think all entrepreneurs should have, then come and list on NSE. So that is my humble request. Whatever support is required, because Honorable SEBI chairman also told me in the morning that this is fine, you do this one-day programs, but you should do much more detailed programs, hand-holding across India. Mumbai, Maharashtra, Gujarat are 60% of all listed companies in SME. We have to go out into the nooks and corners, but many of these experiments are done with Mr. 𝗓𝗏𝗂𝗓 on training, on creating those workshops for 3 days, 5 days, hand-holding, getting merchant bankers, getting entrepreneurs to talk to, the potential new companies to list, all these things, we will try to work with you. But please, if you are in business, you want to improve your business, increase your business, come and list on NSE. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Chauhan, for your valuable insights. Your thoughts on capital market access and NSE's effort to support and guide MSMEs are truly encouraging. We appreciate your continued commitment towards training opportunities for growing businesses. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with pride and privilege, I would like to invite the Honorable Chairman of Securities and Exchange Board of India, Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey. But before he joins us, I would like to say a few words about him. He is an IAS officer of Odisha Cadre 1987 batch. He has earlier served as a Union Finance Secretary, Revenue Secretary, Secretary of Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, Secretary of Department of Public Enterprises, among other significant assignments. Under his leadership, SEBI continues to strengthen India's capital market with a focus on transparency, investor protection, market development, and robust regulatory oversights. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are honored to have him with us to guide us. I request all of you to welcome him with a thunderous round of applause.
Shri Ashish Chauhan, MD and CEO, NSE, Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, Founder and President, Manufacturer and Exporters Association of India, and SME Chamber of India, leaders of Indian industry, market intermediaries, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm delighted to address this gathering at the India SME Finance and Investment Summit. We are here to discuss how our SMEs can be empowered to make India a manufacturing hub and achieve our goal of Viksit Bharat. Over the next 2 decades, India will need sustained investment across infrastructure, energy transition, housing, service excellence, and urban development. This growth cannot be financed by the banking channel alone. A deep, liquid, and trusted capital market is required to complement the banking system. So today I want to speak to you about how capital market access can help Indian SMEs grow. Its requirement from issuers, intermediaries, and what SEBI is doing to strengthen this pathway. India remains among the fastest growing major economies and is on trajectory to becoming the world's third largest economy, with real GDP estimated to grow at 7.4% for FY26. With over 70 million enterprises, MSMEs are central to India's growth and resilience, contributing 35% of manufacturing, 49% of exports, and 31% of GDP. They are also the second largest employer after agriculture. Of these, around 1.5% of MSMEs are small and medium enterprises. The rest are micro. Our dedicated SME platforms on NSE and BSE have transformed from niche channels into powerful engines for capital formation. Over 1,400 SMEs have listed, with current market capitalization of this segment being about 4 trillion rupees, 𝗕𝗏𝗃 crore. More than 350 SMEs have migrated to the main board, proving that this is a viable pathway for long-term integration. Fundraising in this segment has grown strongly. In FY25, 241 SME IPOs raised 98 billion rupees, while in FY26, till January 31st, 232 SME IPOs have raised 105 billion rupees, 𝗍𝗏𝗃�00 crore. It's also encouraging that one SME has raised debt through the stock exchanges in FY26. The industrial profile of SMEs accessing equity markets has also broadened. Capital goods have been the largest contributor by number of listings, indicating that SME platforms are increasingly supporting industrial expansion. We are also seeing an increase in consumer, information technology, and services linked SMEs coming for listing. Over the last 3 years, issue sizes have scaled up, reflecting stronger issuer confidence and expanding investor appetite. Investors are also becoming more discerning, and price discovery is increasingly linked to fundamentals. This is a healthy direction, provided we keep strengthening disclosure quality and post-listing compliance, so that SME markets remain a credible pathway for long-term growth and investor trust. Listing on stock exchange can be transformative for an SME. It provides long-term, risk-bearing growth capital, reduces over-dependence on banks, creates a transparent market-based valuation, and builds a strong platform for future fundraising. Equally important, listing brings a governance upgrade, which improves investor confidence and over time can lower the cost of capital as markets reward credibility and consistency. Listing also delivers visibility through strong brand recognition and improved credibility with customers, suppliers, and lenders. At a system level, greater SME participation in markets also diversifies financing channels. reduces risk concentration in the banking sector, and frees bank capacity for genuine working capital and priority lending. Yet, the SME capital market remains underscaled relative to India's potential. Many SMEs still hesitate because capital markets feel unfamiliar and there is limited access to credible intermediaries such as merchant bankers. The cost of raising capital through IPOs may also deter many SMEs. Practical guidance on filing documentation is often unclear, leading to avoidable iterations and delays that make the IPO route appear cumbersome. In addition, disclosure and compliance requirements are sometimes viewed as burdensome, particularly where internal governance systems are not yet mature. Some time back, another barrier to access capital from markets emerged due to egregious instances of some SMEs misusing the relaxations available under the SME framework. Such instances adversely affected investor sentiment in SME IPOs. SEBI had observed instances where listed SMEs were diverting issue proceeds to related parties or to shell companies controlled by promoters. SMEs were also indulging, some of them were indulging in unfair trade practices to create a positive sentiment and induce investors into purchasing their securities. Therefore, the SME framework needed to be strengthened so that only entities with sound track records could access public markets and investors are protected. In parallel, stock exchanges have also strengthened the SME listing and post-listing ecosystem to make it more predictable for serious issuers. Exchanges are now having deeper engagement with the merchant bankers and promoters to understand the business model. As a result, the quality of offer documents has improved, due diligence has been strengthened, exchanges are now carrying out site visits to SMEs, their subsidiaries, vendors, and third parties who may be beneficiaries of the objects of the issue. Stock exchanges are also using technology, including AI, to process DRHPs to significantly reduce approval timelines. All of these measures are aimed at one outcome: better quality issuers, credible use of proceeds, stronger disclosures and governance, which leads to higher investor confidence and healthier long-term liquidity. So what's the way ahead? We are undertaking a comprehensive review of LODR regulations to eliminate redundancy and ambiguity. Regulatory and disclosure requirements applicable to SMEs are also being examined to enhance ease of doing business while retaining appropriate investor safeguards. SEBI, in coordination with stock exchanges and key stakeholders, is working towards a dedicated SME portal, a one-stop digital gateway with issuer information and clearly mapped compliance guidance. This initiative will enhance transparency and simplify regulatory processes for issuers. Our data shows that Western region continues to dominate in terms of SME IPOs. Around 44% of IPOs in this financial year are from the West. The northern, eastern, and southern regions account for 32%, 14%, and 10% respectively. This reinforces the need for deeper outreach beyond traditional centers to widen participation of quality SMEs. Stock exchanges and industry bodies are already conducting such structured outreach programs on SME listing. However, they need to do more to prepare and attract SMEs to the capital markets, and also in more ingenious ways and more deeper ways of capacity building than what it has been attempted hitherto. And so therefore, I will urge SME chamber here and the exchanges to work out, and maybe with, in association with SEBI and Indian Bank Association, to create a good project, and we will definitely, look at it very positively if deeper engagement is made available on capacity building in different regions, not only in terms of only familiarization programs, but deeper hand-holding into what it means. A young generation is coming on board and they would really like to be engaged, and given an opportunity and aspiration, I'm sure we will have many more IPOs, good quality IPOs coming forward. But we need to actually deepen our engagement with the SMEs and entrepreneurs. SEBI is also going to open its local offices in state capitals in a phased manner. This will facilitate SMEs to have easier access to information on listing and post-listing processes. Merchant bankers play a very important role in pre- and post-listing of SME IPOs. In addition to managing the IPO, they are also responsible for ensuring market making. I urge merchant bankers to continue their efforts to inform and educate issuers about the IPO process and post-listing requirements. The recently launched SME Listing Handbook by the Association of Investment Bankers of India can support capacity building for issuers and merchant bankers. The handbook on SME IPOs published by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India can also be helpful in this regard. Efforts are underway to further deepen the corporate bond market. We will be holding a series of pan-India outreach programs to build issuer and investor awareness on corporate bonds. I urge SMEs to also participate in these programs. In closing, SMEs will have to be at the forefront if India must become a manufacturing and innovation hub. SMEs will need a financing stack, bank credit for working capital, equity for growth, and market-based debt for scale. Each step will require better governance, sharper disclosures, and stronger credibility. SEBI will continue to be a guardian of trust and facilitate efficient capital formation. But real scaling will happen when SME leaders and ecosystem partners choose transparency as a strategy, not a compliance burden. So I look forward to your ideas, your feedback, and a constructive dialogue. बहुत साल पहले मेरा जो इनिशियल करियर हुआ था उसमें मैंने SMEs के साथ बहुत क्लोज काम किया है. I was managing director of Odisha State Financial Corporation, which was जो कि basically small and medium enterprises को finance करता था, और फिर उसके बाद मैं मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर था उड़ीसा स्टेट इंडस्ट्रीज़ कॉरपोरेशन, स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज़ कॉरपोरेशन, जिसमें हम स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज़ को सपोर्ट करते थे इन वेरियस वेज. उसमें एक्विटी सपोर्ट भी था, उसमें मार्केटिंग असिस्टेंस भी थी, उसमें फैक्टरिंग भी थी, और उसमें बहुत सारे इश्यूज़ थे. बहुत पहले की बात है, आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ अर्ली 1990s. उनमें से ये बहुत खुशी होती है उनमें से देख के कि बहुत सारे जो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स उस समय उन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से हमने सपोर्ट किए थे वो आज बहुत ऊंची स्थिति में पहुंचे हैं. उन्होंने अपनी फैक्ट्रीज़ बनाई हैं, उनमें से मल्टीपल बिजनेसेस उन्हें खड़े किए हैं, कैपिटल से कैपिटल बनता है, कैपिटल से कैपिटल ग्रो करती है, वो आज कितने लोगों को एम्प्लॉय कर रहे हैं, अपनी फैमिली के साथ बहुत सारी फैमिलीज़ को, बहुत सारे परिवारों को वो जॉब्स दे रहे हैं, एम्प्लॉयमेंट दे रहे हैं। तो लेकिन ऐसे भी हैं जो वे साइड पे रह गए। एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में रिस्क है, रिस्क तो एंटरप्रेन्योर लेते हैं, बहुत मेहनत करते हैं, हमने तो देखा है कि क्या क्या काम एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को करने पड़ते हैं, लेकिन यदि उनमें सिंसेरिटी और कमिटमेंट है और एक सपोर्टिव इकोसिस्टम है तो बहुत बड़े स्केल पे आगे काम बढ़ सकता है। लेकिन ईमानदारी की बहुत ज़रूरत है, कमिटमेंट की बहुत ज़रूरत है, और एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ की ज़रूरत है कि कुछ भी कांस्टेंट नहीं है, एवरीथिंग इज़ चेंजिंग। तो जो समय के साथ तुरंत बदलता नहीं है वो पीछे रह जाता है, वे साइड पे चला जाता है। इतनी लार्ज कंपनीज, बड़ी बड़ी लार्ज कंपनीज वर्ल्ड में आई और बिखर गई यदि वो चेंज नहीं कर पाए। उसी तरह से स्मॉल एंड मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस के एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को ये समझना होगा कि चेंज इज़ द कांस्टेंट, और इसीलिए टेक्नोलॉजी हो, अकाउंटिंग हो, सिस्टम्स हो और ह्यूमन रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट हो, इन सब में हमें बदलाव करते रहना होगा समय के साथ। तो समय जीवन चक्र में कभी भी ऐसा नहीं होगा कि मैंने सब कुछ सीख लिया। हमें हर समय, इस समय जीवन के आखिरी पड़ाव तक यही करना है कि हमें कुछ और सीखना है। तो यदि हम उसका ध्यान रखें तो मुझे निश्चय आप लोगों में से इतने लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं जिन्होंने इतनी इतनी इंडस्ट्रीज़ खड़ी की हैं, अपने बलबूते पे खड़ी की हैं, कुछ अपने इनहेरिट की हैं और उनको अपने परिश्रम से आगे बढ़ाया है। लेकिन आपका ये दायित्व है कि जो आपकी नई जनरेशन आ रही है उनको भी उसी तरह से मोटिवेट करना, क्योंकि वो भी अपने बिजनेसेस को आगे लेके जाएं, और उनको भी ये मौका देना कि वो बिजनेसेस को डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन से, जैसा वो समझते हैं, समय के साथ बदलें। तो दिस कैपिटल मार्केट, एंड आशीष जी ने भी बात की इस बात की, और सालुंके जी ने भी बात की कि हमें नई सोच को बढ़ावा देते हुए अपने पुराने संचित जो हमारी स्किल्स हैं उनको आगे बढ़ाना होगा। इन शब्दों के साथ मैं यहीं समाप्त करता हूँ। थैंक यू, धन्यवाद, जय हिंद।
Rather, we should, thankful to you for guidance and, suggestions given by you. Because all industrialists, SMEs or entrepreneurs not marching according to the market, according to atmosphere. लंदन में कहते हैं कि अगर बाहर निकलते हैं आपके हाथ में छाता होना ज़रूरी है, कब बारिश आएगी पता नहीं है। वैसे हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को भी, जैसे पांडे साहब ने कहा, हमें मार्केट के हिसाब से चलना है। आप जिस मार्केट के आज प्लेटफॉर्म पर आप बैठे हो, आप देखिए सुबह 9 बजे के 9:30 बजे के बाद मार्केट का रुख कैसे बदलता है, सेंसेक्स निफ्टी कैसे बढ़ती है, उसके हिसाब से मार्केट दिन भर में हमारा ध्यान रहता है। वैसे हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स ने, जैसे पांडे साहब ने कहा, वी शुड एक्सेप्ट दैट एंड अडॉप्ट हाउ टू मार्च फर्दर फॉर अ ग्रोथ। Sir, even I would like to assure that with the help of, with the support of and with the, under the guidance of Shri Chauhan Sahab, we are planning to organize, every month at least 2 training program to inviting the entrepreneurs from the Northeast, the North region, Western region, South region, to participate on a training program to understand the access to capital market, the benefits, advantages. Then only we can, achieve the 5,000 numbers, particularly next 3 years. So आशीष जी का सहयोग हमें हमेशा है और बढ़ता रहेगा। और एक गाइडलाइन भी हम बनाते हैं, जैसे आपने फ्रेमवर्क की बात की, हम भी एक गाइडलाइन नया बनाते हैं कि जो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को हाउ दे कैन यू अडॉप्ट दी गुड गवर्नेंस, बिजनेस एथिक्स एंड फेयर बिजनेस प्रैक्टिसेस। उसी के बाद ही आपकी एक कॉन्फिडेंट लेवल इन्वेस्टर के सामने, बैंकर के सामने, कॉरपोरेट के सामने और आपके बायर्स एंड सप्लायर के सामने बन सकती है। तो इस शब्दों के साथ आपने जो सजेशन दिए, आपने जो गाइडलाइन रखी है और आपका जो सुझाव है, इसको हम आगे लेके चलेंगे और मुझे लगता है यही हमारा आज का एक टेक अवे होगा कि जिस माध्यम से हमें ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब का जो विजन है, जो एक्शन प्लान है, जो ड्रीम प्रोजेक्ट है विकसित भारत, ये पूरा करने का मौका हमें मिलेगा और स्पेशली एसएमई एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को मिलेगा। सो वी शुड गिव अ बिग हैंड टू द एसएमई एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, दोज आर पुटिंग एफर्ट्स फॉर द एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन, ब्रिंगिंग न्यू एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप। और एक थोड़ा लैकिंग हमारे स्टार्टअप्स में है या एंटरप्रेन्योर, दे आर नॉट एंटरिंग टू मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर। और प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब का यही विजन है कि हम कैसे हमारा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग फैक्ट्री ऑफ वर्ल्ड कैसे हम भारत देश को बनाए, इस तरफ पे हम। जैसे अभी आईबीए के चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ने कहा कि बैंकों को हम इंसिस्ट कर रहे हैं, और अभी हमारे पांडे साहब का, चेयरमैन सेबी साहब का, सेबी के चेयरमैन साहब का भाषण के बाद तुरंत हमारे दूसरे दुर्गेश पांडे जी एक भाषण देने वाले हैं, जो कि नेशनल क्रेडिट गारंटी स्कीम के अंडर 100 करोड़ तक कोलैटरल फी लोन आप कैसे पा सकते हो, कैसे अडॉप्ट कर सकते हो, कैसे अवेल कर सकते हो, उसके तरीके हैं, उसके फॉर्मेलिटीज़ है, एक फ्रेमवर्क बनाया गवर्नमेंट ने, वो आपके सामने रखने वाले हैं। सर, थैंकफुल टू यू and special thanks to Ashish Kumar ji for supporting all my activities for the last many years and take forward this baton further to accomplish the vision of our NSE, SEBI and जाते जाते मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, जैसे इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोटेक्शन फंड होता है या इन्वेस्टर क्रिएटिंग अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम का फंड होता है, तो मैं चाहता हूँ सेबी और एनएसई और बीएसई अगर एक कोई ऐसा मॉडल बनाए कि रूरल एरिया में या छोटे छोटे शहरों में हम अगर एसएमई सेक्टर को आईपीओ की तरफ लाने के लिए, कैपिटल मार्केट में अगर दिया जाए, तो मुझे लगता है ये बहुत बड़ा अवेयरनेस क्रिएट हो सकता है और हम भारत देश में कम से कम आगे 10,000 कॉरपोरेट्स पैदा कर सकते हैं। धन्यवाद।
Ladies and gentlemen, with this, I would like to request Shri 𝗔𝗓𝗔𝗡𝗧 to present a small token of appreciation to Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey. Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening address. We deeply appreciate your guidance, your vision. I will request Shri 𝗔𝗓𝗔𝗡𝗧 to present a small token of appreciation to the Managing Director and the CEO of National Stock Exchange of India Limited, Shri Ashish Chauhan. Thank you so much for the support. We will take one group photo. I'll request Mr. Mahesh Kumar to please join. Thank you. Requesting everybody to be seated. We will be continuing with the next session soon. For the next session, may I request Mr. Durgesh Pandey, Chief Executive Officer and the Whole-Time Director of National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company Limited, along with Ms. Monu Jain, Partner, Aavishkar Capital. Requesting Shri Lokesh Gupta, Vice President, Product Management of 𝗕𝗏𝗇𝗏 Software Private Limited to join, along with Ms. Parvati Murthy, Associate Vice President, SME Platform, Emerge Platform, National Stock Exchange of India Limited. Let's quick start the next session, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to request Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey, Chief Executive Officer, National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company Limited, to share the details about the collateral fee finance up to 100 CR for industrial growth and technology upgradation. Can we please welcome him with a huge round of applause?
So good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, I must say that this is a pleasure for me to be invited to this forum for giving an address to all of you. And I must thank Mr. 𝗓𝗏𝗃 for this, for having invited me to this program. I'm really delighted to be here with you all. So as we all know, the importance of MSMEs or SMEs to the economy of this country cannot be overemphasized. We all know those facts very well. And the importance that is needed for all these MSMEs to scale up is all the more important. With that perspective in mind, the Government of India has been initiating various steps to help the entrepreneurs, help the MSMEs. And as 𝗓𝗏𝗃 साहब ने भी बोला regarding that collateral-free loans up to 100 crore, well, NCGTC is having around 15 credit guarantee schemes, but we'll be focusing only on 3 credit guarantee schemes right now. One is for the exporters that has recently been launched subsequent to this tariff issues. Second is on this collateral-free loans up to 100 crore. And the third scheme is for the startups, basically for the startups. So I have a short presentation on the 3 schemes so that the basic features of the 3 credit guarantee schemes we can talk about. Now we need to understand that the 3 major aspects that any business faces is awareness, availability, and accessibility. So awareness is being spread through such programs like this. Accessibility and availability of finance are the other 2 aspects which are important. That is on the debt side as well as on the equity side. Equity side has already been talked about. What we will be talking right now would be on the debt side. So, as we are now aware of this issue of the tariffs, which almost started about 6 months back and still going on, well, though some decisions have been arrived at for reducing the tariffs. But about a month back, or 1.5 months back, the scheme was launched for the credit guarantee scheme for exporters. Now, this is 100% guaranteed loans. For example, if there is a borrower which is having some outstanding working capital limits, they can avail of 20% over and above that, for which the Government of India is standing as a guarantor through NCGTC. So in case of default, that entire 20% facility over and above what they are having under this scheme shall be taken care of, and the lenders will be provided with support on this default against this amount. The maximum loan amount that has been provided under the scheme can be provided is 50 crores. The major point that we have taken care of over here is that the lending should happen at 1% below the present rate of interest that the exporters are getting it at. So for example, if it is at 7% interest rate, then the borrower is entitled to get this assistance under this scheme at 1% below this, which means at 6%. This facility shall be available for a period of 4 years, including 1-year moratorium. The purpose of this scheme is to enable liquidity support to these exporters so that they can explore more markets, ensure that the production that is there with them, which is not able to find markets because of these tariffs issues and all that, can be taken care of and they get support. So over here, some certain conditions have been put among the eligibility or the amount. For example, when we are talking about the exporters and the affected sectors, with the support, with the interactions with the Ministry of Commerce, as also with RBI, we have been able to strike down the sectors which are important, sectors which were exporting to the US and which have been impacted. So as I said, it is 100% guarantee cover through NCGTC. Liquidity support, thank you so much. So liquidity support up to 20,000 crore has been assumed, has been proposed, but yes, of course, this can always be viewed separately again. And the scheme shall be valid up to March 31, 2026. So the faster it is utilized, the better it is. So direct as well as indirect exporters both are eligible for support under the scheme. Now, when we are talking about direct exporters, these are direct exporters who are directly exporting in those sectors that I said, that is available on our website also. If they are MSMEs, they should be exporting more than 5%, equal to or greater than 5% to those sectors. And if it is a non-MSME, it should be greater than or equal to 20%. Now, sectors and of course, US was the issue where the tariffs issue came up. So sectors have been identified and that list is indicated. Now, over here, what we have done is that generally the MSMEs have the issue, or even the larger one, that the lenders are not giving assistance. So here what we have done is that this system we have worked through the 𝗔𝗃 portal. A borrower applies on the 𝗔𝗃 portal and that application directly goes to the lender for sanctioning assistance. Now, since the guidelines are very clear and there are no checking, etc. involved, the lenders are supposed to sanction the assistance. And sanction or rejections are being monitored closely at the Ministry of Finance. As of now, if I have to say, around 12,000 crore applications have been received on the 𝗔𝗃 portal. Almost about 6,000 crore have already been sanctioned and guarantee taken. There have been some rejections, say, of around 2,000 crore because of the ineligibility. That also we are looking at. And the others are under process of sanction. If they are lenders over here, yes, we would like them to take early action so that sanction is done and the guarantees are issued. There could be some borrowers who are having lending from more than one lenders, in which case whoever gives the first guarantee takes it, because the limit is 50 crore. Now here, when we are talking about the condition with regard to the sales turnover, it is in respect of sales turnover of financial year 24 or 25, because we know that this year it is impacted. So this year we are not considering. So direct exporters, as I said, up to 20%, that 20% of working capital for the indirect, it's 50 crore, rate of interest 1% less than the existing ROI, 4-year. Guarantee fee is nil, so there is no cost involved to the borrower. And it has been indicated very clearly that the lenders are not supposed to take any additional collateral or personal guarantee under the scheme. So that, in a nutshell, are the basic features of this credit guarantee scheme for exporters. So since this is also the Manufacturers and Exporters Association, what I would request is that whoever is there from the Exporters Association must get in touch with all the members to ensure that everybody gets this facility and avails of the benefit under the scheme. This is valid up to 31/3, or guarantees up to 20,000 crore is issued. So considering that 12,000 crore have already been issued, the limit is very limited less. Now I'll come to this mutual credit guarantee scheme for MSMEs. As Mr. Goyal was also talking about this 𝗕𝗵𝗂𝗔𝗍 scheme, that is providing guarantees on loans up to 10 crore. Now, most of the SMEs were left out because whenever they need assistance more than that. And 10 crore was not sufficient. So here, the government of India has come out with this scheme where loans up to 100 crore can be availed by a MSME. For their projects, it could be an existing unit. It could be an existing unit or it could be a new unit. It should be a MSME with valid Udyam registration. It should be standard across lenders. There are certain features of this scheme wherein the association also, Mr. Goyal I think has left, but he is there. We have had meetings wherein certain issues were raised by the association as also with the lenders, and we have taken it up for modifications on those parameters with the government. One is about this minimum cost of equipment machinery is 75% of the cost of project, that it should be slightly tweaked. We are working on that. We have already moved it. Approval is awaited, so slight changes may happen. Because particularly for the existing units, it is easy. But for the new units, that may become slightly difficult. So those aspects we have looked at. Now, project cost could be any amount. For example, if a borrower needs a project of 200 crore, but the loan requirement, whatever is there, we will restrict guarantee to 100 crore. So no limit is there for the term loan that is to be taken, but the maximum loan amount under the guarantee shall not exceed 100 crore. Flexible up to 2 years moratorium period. Principal repayment could be 8 years or more than that. We have left it to the discretion between the lenders and the borrowers. They can have discussions, deliberate, and decide how much is it. Now, 60% of the amount in default is being covered under this guarantee scheme. Basically, what it means is that if a borrower has taken a loan of 100 rupees and the amount in default is 100 rupees, so lender gets 60% of this amount in default, which means that his liability on this borrower reduces, so substantial risk is getting covered through this scheme. Upfront contribution is 5% of the loan amount, loan sanction, which is maximum 5 crore. Now, this is also one issue where the lenders, or not the lenders, rather the borrowers are having issues. We are working on this. We have received reference from the Indian Bank Association to make this a refundable deposit. We are examining that. Changes may happen. We are awaiting some decision on that. So annual guarantee fee is nil during the first year. Subsequent years is 1.5% per annum during the next 3 years, and thereafter it is 1% per annum of the outstanding loan. Now, if you are having a collateral and if you're giving a collateral, that also carries a cost. If there is a guarantee fee over here, this is quite nominal. And this can be built into the cost of project to see how much is the costing coming, whether the project is still viable or not. And if it is viable, it is much better to proceed with the loan, take the guarantee cover, avail the loan, go for the project, and build business. Interest rate cap is left to the discretion between the lenders and the borrower. So these are basically the broad features. The detailed scheme guidelines are available on our website, which is www.ncgtc.in. All the details, the various schemes are there, but these are schemes which are of much importance for the present gathering. So now I'll come for the credit guarantee scheme for startups. I am told that quite a number of entrepreneurs are also sitting over here. So this would be very important for them. Now, when we are talking about startups, it does not exclude MSME, first thing. We feel that startup does not mean an MSME. Startup is a bigger subset, bigger set, universal set rather. a startup can be a MSME or not an MSME. Any business which is registered with the Udyam on the Udyam portal becomes an MSME. But there could be agri-allied activities, agri-activities, or some business which is not registered, that can also be a startup. But when we are talking about startup, it is not a green enterprise we are talking about. We are talking about startups which are registered with the DPIIT, Department for Promotion for Investment and Industrial. That is a part of the Ministry of Commerce. So, first thing is that you have to register with the DPIIT, that business, as a startup. If it is there, then as we are discussing with the IBA and DPIIT, because this scheme is run on behalf of DPIIT, so there we are trying to build up a format, because lenders, this is basically based on cash flow lending. This is not past financial basis on the basis, because there are no financial parameters available of the business. So we are working out a detailed format or the application or the guidelines, broad guidelines on the basis of which lenders should be guided for lending. And DPIIT is also pushing on that. Regular meetings are being done. Sooner or later that will happen. And this scheme also we are proposing to shift from Jan Samarth portal rather than directly. We have already guaranteed loans almost around 900 crore under the scheme, because the scheme was not launched much back. And here, all loans up to 20 crore are guaranteed. So maximum guarantee cover is up to 20 crore, which means even if the project cost is bigger, but loan size is about, loan could be up to 20 or more than that, but 20 crore loan will be guaranteed under the scheme. Guarantee available is 85% of the amount in default for loan up to 10 crore, and beyond that it is 75%, which means that suppose if it is a 15 crore loan, the first 10 crore will be covered for 85% and the balance will be for the 75%. There is also this umbrella-based scheme for the alternate investment funds, because they have been into the startup business for a long time, but they don't lend it on a single basis. They create funds and they lend on that basis. So if it is an alternate investment fund which is giving debt to a startup, that can also be covered. But I'm not sure if AIFs are here. So for them it is actual losses up to a maximum of 5%. So for this guarantee fee, it is 1% for 27 champion sectors which have been identified and indicated in our scheme guidelines. Defense, aerospace, all these are minerals, some important minerals. These are all champion sectors where the manufacturing is expected. And I would like to highlight over here that just a few days back, about 4 days back only, the Gazette notification has come for modification in the definition of startups also. Earlier it was 100 crore, it has been enhanced to 200 crores. Thank you so much. Now it's already better. So now it is 200 crores, and for the deep tech industry it has been made 300 crore. And deep tech industry, I think it has already also made 15 years instead of completing only up to 10 years. So for the champion sectors, it is 1%, which is quite low guarantee fee. Non-champion sectors, it is 2%, but for the northeastern region or women entrepreneurs, irrespective of the place, it would be 1.5%. But if it is 20, it is in the champion sector as also women enterprise or northeast, it will get 1% benefit. And for the umbrella based, of course, it is just 1.15%, but that is for the AIFs. 2 AIFs are also registered with us for the different funds that they have taken, and there also guarantees are being issued. So these are the 3 important schemes that I wanted to talk on. Thank you.
With this, we move ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Monu Jain, partner 𝗕𝗫𝗃 Capital to share her views on sustainability as a growth strategy for SMEs powered by accessible debt funding. Please welcome her with a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, SME Chamber and Shri Salunke-ji for having me here. Let me introduce myself. I must say that I'm very honored to be here talking to, gathering of SME entrepreneurs, and I'm very passionate about the fact that the SMEs in India are not getting enough capital, and how can we provide them loans or capital which is beyond the traditional finance and fill that gap. You all know there is a $530 billion credit gap that's been identified for SMEs in India, and that's something that we want to kind of fulfill over here in our small way. So my name is Monu Jain. I'm a partner with 𝗕𝗫𝗃 Capital's ESG-focused debt fund. So we are a global fund, and we cover geographies in Africa, Southeast Asia, and India. Of course, India is a large part of our fund. We support companies with loans, companies like yours, SMEs, which are fast growing, in the export value chains, and we also assist you in your sustainability journey. So we spoke about the export credit guarantee schemes, and we also support exporters, direct or indirect, as long as you are in the export value chain in some form, whether it's products or services, because now services have also become very important. So, I'm here to talk a little bit about sustainability. We are an ESG-focused fund. As an SME, you all have a lot of challenges to win, battles to win, and you will rightfully question, is ESG really relevant for me? What is sustainability and what is ESG? Very simply put, sustainability is the ability to grow, to exist and grow without depleting resources for the future generations. And ESG is merely a framework that enables us to measure and monitor this. But ESG, unlike common perception, ESG is not a compliance burden. It's not a cost item on your P&L. It's not just a nice to have. In today's world, it's a true imperative, especially for companies which are in global supply chains. And as our own portfolio companies have shown, it's truly value accretive both for operating and financial performance of a company. And I will give you an example as we go through this. So this slide will tell us how ESG truly impacts the various parts of a business. When companies adopt sustainable practices, we open up newer markets of more conscious customers. You open up investors who are more responsible and want to invest in ESG-related assets. You'll be surprised to know that today, globally, the ESG AUM is $20 trillion, and that's a large and growing AUM. So there is this whole pool of investors who are sitting and who want to bring capital to companies which are thinking sustainable. And operationally, when you think water conservation, you think energy efficiency, it's nothing but directly adding to your margins by reducing your costs. Let me give you an example of one of our portfolio companies. They are an auto component manufacturer and do EV parts as well. An MSME, 100 crores turnover, but just very conscious about a strong ESG mindset. So they've been with us for the last 2 years. And in this journey, they've implemented a slew of sustainable practices. And they're small things, but it's like they have put in place an packing machine, which uses recyclable packaging material. There is a varnish machine that they have upgraded. So all the varnish that used to spill over to the floor, causing pollution as well as causing wastage. Now they've got a solvent-enabled recyclable machine. They've added a kit, a PM 2.5 manager kit to their gen sets. So with this, what they've been able to do over the last 2 years, they've saved 10% per annum on energy consumption, right? That's a straight big cost for an auto component manufacturer. They've reduced 8% per annum of wastage because now they're using recyclable packaging, they're recycling their varnish. And on the social side, they've made their policies more aligned to equal opportunities. They've strengthened safety measures, and as a result, the employee productivity has boosted. So all of this has really added to better margins for them. So this is a reality. This is the fund, and what do we do from the fund? So as I was trying to explain, we support companies, we provide loans. We support companies who are in the export value chains, directly or indirectly, and we work with you to walk the journey towards a more sustainable future for your company. We typically do 25 to 50 crores of loans, 3 to 5 years tenure. Sectorally, we are sector agnostic, except for some obvious sectors like negative sectors of tobacco, alcohol. We also don't do real estate, arms, defense, and the sectors, just to give you an example, what's really working for us is packaging, logistics, auto components, we spoke about steel, agriculture, basically anything where capital can be used to create value for the company. How does the fund help the SMEs? You would say even banks are providing the same capital. So just I'm talking about the end users here. And we try and support where a bank and NBFC and traditional capital is capped. And you need more capital. For example, if you have the need to go in for, let's say, road shows for a pharma company and you need some capital for that, which is not really creating an asset, but is going to create cash flows. Or you want to ramp up your sales force teams, or there is inorganic growth of, or you want a capex which is long gestation. Or you want long-term working capital, basically mixed use money for the growth of the company. We provide all of that. And we give you flexibility in how it can be structured, the repayments. And so because we want to be your partners in growth, and we align the repayment schedule along with the projected cash flows of the company. If the capex is supposed to take time to generate cash, we can do step-ups. We can do step-ups and coupons as well. So that's the flexibility we provide. And we work with companies, because it's a debt product, we work with companies which are generating cash flows and have some track records and are profitable. We provide non-dilutive capital. So if you feel you're at a point in time where a little bit of capital can help you grow substantially, and then you want to go in for equity raise, we provide you fixed return money which can add value to your equity valuations. This is just to give you a broad idea, 3 of our companies in our portfolio. The first is an auto-grade steel processing company. They basically process steel in a sustainably green manner. Here you'll notice the revenue is 900 crores plus. We have also a company which is 100 crores. And so the turnover for us really varies. And the end users for us vary from working capital to capex to any inorganic growths. The second is the auto component company. And the third is a fruit and vegetable exporter. And now they've become India's top 10 F&B exporters. So we started our journey very early with them. One other thing I want to leave a thought with you is that when we come in, we're just not providers of capital, and we don't forget about you. So with all our companies, we go and provide support beyond capital. We open up our networks as an organization and institution we have an advisory arm, we have a microfinance company, we have other funds. And each of us have our own networks. We open our networks to the companies for your betterment and growth. We help with governance and talent acquisition or aligning of systems if that's required. And this has really helped the companies to raise more to raise more money, to be capital ready. As an example, our portfolio companies on an average have been able to raise 3x the money we've given after we've entered, because their systems get streamlined, their processes are better, their governance is better. So that's, and we support with our networks and our institutional support in that. And the last over here is a technical assistance. This is a small grant facility that we have, meaning we just allow our portfolio companies to take this money from us without a repayment. And the intention of this is to use it for your knowledge building towards a more sustainable practice, and you can hire consultants to figure out how to do a solar plant, or which process is better for your manufacturing facility, etc. So I'm here, and if you all have questions, we can talk about it over the next couple of hours. And in case we're not able to meet, please write to me. My email was up there, monu.jain@avishkar.in. I really hope some or all of you are able to benefit from all the discussions around capital access that we are having over here. Thank you very much. Oh, I can. Any questions? Seems like we have 5 minutes. We can talk about it. Yes.
I'm Sunil Mehta here. I just read through your slide whereby you're saying you're funding only to profitable companies. So, and secondly, this funding is more for a ESG compliant proposal. Am I right in understanding this?
Let me clarify, and good question. See, in the risk return continuum, you will see that you will have seed investors, angels, and then when the company is on the road to profitability, the venture debt comes in, right? And we are not replacing venture debt, because the thesis of venture debt is that they are relying on the next takeout of the next investor coming in, right? We rely on a company's cash flows. We go long term. So what you're saying, before the company becomes profitable, a venture debt is the right funding for them. And that's a shorter term, 18 months to 24 months, and it's faster repayments, it's an EMI structure. And after that, what happens is, even after that, companies are not ready for traditional debt, which is because there's no credit history. Sometimes there are no collaterals, which other banks or NBFCs will ask for. So we work on a cash flow basis model. As long as the end use of money is generating cash, we are okay. And once a company is established, and even if you have a lender with you, what happens is, like, one of our companies came to us because they had an export order and they needed to quickly turn that around. They needed money for working capital, and the banks were capped on their lending limits because of collateral margins. 1.5x of your collateral, it could not. So that is where we are. We are in something called the performing credit category. And your second question was about sustainability. The very, very important to note that we know we want to support SMEs. We don't want to go in for larger companies which are already ESG compliant, right? Then what is our value add? So we actually do not look for companies which are ESG compliant. We look for companies who want to be, right? As long as the mindset is there, we have our internal teams, and we work with you, and we identify what all steps can be taken, small, large, which can be meaningful, and that's how we create the delta. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Hi, my name is Ahmed Khan. I'm the CEO of Clay Capital.
This is more, since we are speaking on the context of funding and being the access to capital for the more deserving SME and MSME sector. Also, my question to Mr. 𝗓𝗏𝗘𝗓 as well. We wish to understand how we could best place this. At Clay Capital and Funding Cart, which is today India's widest debt marketplace, both for SMEs and startups, one among the programs that we do is bridge funding, particularly for folks who are sustainable but still haven't got external capital. So we are democratizing access to capital for them in the context of helping them access anything between 2 to 10 crore without any form of lien. But we want to understand how those programs can be fit in with initiatives like this at noble avenues like this, right? So the whole idea is these folks shouldn't be dependent on external capital or VC money to come in while their GTM and order book is already in front of them. Right. And sometimes they wish to do it at an ideal milestone where they are desired at a respectable valuations. So this is something that we do for early stage folks, a corpus of 2 to 10 crore, both in SME, MSME and startup category. We funded about 56 entities so far in this context. And would better like to understand Mr. Chandrakant as well and you as well, how we can place this product, particularly with SME and the MSME ecosystem and any deserving startups as the case might be.
You go first. You know, I think, I mean, everybody acknowledges there is so much need for capital and India is now the hub of innovation, and which is, today we are so proud to say that there are multiple modes of channels of capital, pools of capital. Unfortunately, each of them come with their own mandate and their capability on what they can do. But what you're talking about is also very specific, deserving. In our fund, it does not fit into the mandate. We have our LPs. And being a global fund, for us, doing a smaller ticket size, it becomes very costly, which is why we do 25 crores plus kind of ticket loans up to 50 crores. But, you know, venture debt fits in very well for this. And there is a very good ecosystem of venture debt which is available. In equity, there's angels. I also am on the selection committee of some angel network. Very happy to support companies and, you know, just any company which is deserving, happy to route it to the angels for capital raise. And, but there is a larger ecosystem which needs to be built, and you're very right about that, and 𝗓𝗏𝗘𝗔 will be better placed to take that part. Yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃. I'm an engineer by profession, and I represent like a lot of other many entrepreneurs who are struggling individually, and okay, some are doing well, some are not doing well, and some are even closed their shop also. I think maybe some of you can share my experience. So what we have decided finally, like instead of fighting individually as a MSME or something, better join hands and work together, and maybe like put a joint front. Like, okay, you cannot advise every company to go for so many registrations, so many things, individually form this thing. So we have joined hands like 10 to 20 professionals who have worked for 10, 20 years. Something called as a joint stock company. I don't hear anybody talking about that today. But like in that case, for financing joint stock companies, will Aviskar Capital be of some assistance? Or even 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗓𝗏 sir, maybe like since he's doing the SME part, joint stock companies, like who are like maybe like some are from electronics background, some mechanical, some electrical, from different, 4 or 5 domains or sectors, we have joined hands. Because individually we have found it is impossible, like, you know, like whatever schemes you roll out, very difficult to access. So like we have formed joint stock companies, maybe the financials are different for each of them, but can we collectively come to you?
I would be very happy to explore structurally how it works. I'm talking from our fund perspective, structurally how it would work. And as long as the capital is being used for something productive and it can go into some of the 4 or 5 companies, what we will really need to assess is that is ideally there should be synergy between the 4-5 companies, and they're not 5 different blocks which are just together for convenience. And that synergies lead to growth of the entire joint stock company as a group, and generates cash flows which can be used to repay your obligations. So I'm here. We'll be happy to discuss this further with you.
Okay, madam. And Salunke sir, what is your opinion about this?
If you can give me a proper proposal, we can definitely think about it. So integration of the consultant is not a big issue. Only thing is that how they can, provide value addition, particularly for the further growth. That is the most important. नहीं तो जैसे मैंने मॉर्निंग में कहा ना कि सोल्जर आगे पीछे देखा तो कोई नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए.
हाँ सर, correct. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you everyone for the questions. Rest of the questions we can take offline over lunch. And we will quickly move on to our next speaker, requesting Mr. Lokesh Gupta, Vice President, Product Management, Great Software Private Limited, to share his views on the leveraging HR technology for manufacturing success. Can you please welcome him with a huge round of applause?
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. So my name is Lokesh Gupta. I'm representing a tech company named Great HR. We heard a lot of presentations today on capital, monetary capital especially. Today I'm going to talk about human capital and how technology can help manage human capital to enhance your productivity, capability, and capacity. So let me start with what Great HR does. We are a tech company. We provide a full suite HRMS solution to manage your entire employee life cycle, right from recruitment to core HR, where you can manage all the employee information, leave and attendance management, where you can efficiently manage your workforce, shift management, overtime, all of these tools integrating with payroll, where you can manage loans, salaries, payroll reports, compliance reports. We have a full-fledged performance management solution to manage appraisals, business expense claims management, and onboarding and exit. Beyond this, we have a full-fledged employee self-service portal, advanced analytics and reporting to make sure you stay compliant. AI is the talk of town, so I'm happy to say that we have recently launched NAVOS, Great HR NAVOS. This is our first agentic solution. We have built about 50 tools, 50 agents to help employers manage their workforce efficiently. Rather than doing repetitive tasks, they can manage the processes with just giving a command to an AI. If you can see it on the screen, with simple command, you could change the location of an employee, and you don't have to navigate a complex solution. We have presence in 25 countries. We have customers in 250 plus cities across manufacturing, retail, healthcare, automotive, BFSI. We have about 30,000 customers in India and India, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. Our systems are processing payroll for about 30 lakh employees in India on a real-time basis. These are some of the renowned customers that we have. Majority of our customer base is in small and medium segment. So you can recognize some of these names. Coming to the topic of human capital management, right? Any organization has 3 entities. One is people who do the work. They are enabled by practices. Work creates value and shaped by people who perform it. And practices evolve based on the changing nature of both people and work. If you look at the history of human resource management, right, it started somewhere around 1980s. From 1985 to 1995, the focus was mostly on staying compliant with the government policies as part of the license Raj. In 1995 to 2005, tech scene emerged in India, and HR management practices focused on hiring, recruitment, attrition, and making sure you have a diverse workforce. from 2005 to 2015, the focus shifted towards strategic HR. Strategic HR stands for how much workforce will I need in the future? How do you predict how do you predict how many people you will need? How do you make sure people are staying up to date with the latest technology? How do you optimize? How do you continuously optimize their capacity, capability to improve productivity and efficiency? But since 2015, there has been a shift. Now companies are also focusing on things like mental health, things like employee engagement, things like employee being aligned to the vision of the organization and the employers. So if you look at the history, earlier it was a single career mindset. Promotions were based on the tenure. Now people are being promoted based on what they deliver to the organization, what are the outcomes they drive. If you look at tech sector, about 10 years ago, there were office clusters, everybody was going to the office, but pandemic shifted the narrative. Now a lot of companies are offering work from home, and productivity is outcome driven. Similarly, earlier work meant livelihood, mental health was not even discussed in the organizations. Now work means identity. A person, when you ask a person, what do you do, or do you work, they feel proud when they're talking about the organization they work for. Mental health is a table stakes now. Organizations are actively discussing this today. Earlier, the decision making was top down. Now decisions are based on the data that is coming from the market, and performance is equal to team collaboration. If you look at human resource as an organization and its maturity in various sectors, services industry, which is industries such as IT companies, IT services companies, banking, finance, they are at the forefront of HR technology adoption. This is followed by industries such as manufacturing, healthcare. These companies have started adopting technology and driving HR processes to augment human capital. One of the biggest sectors employing 45% of the workforce in India, which is agriculture, HR is almost non-existent today, but this is a big opportunity to optimize and improve the productivity in this segment. So what is HR operating system 1.0? From 2015 to 2005, HR operating system 1.0 focused on attendance tracking, benefits administration. Focus was mostly on staying compliant with government regulations, making sure you have a diverse and inclusive workforce, and employee self-service. Since pandemic, there is a special shift coming in the workforce, where now employees are asking for AI-enabled experiences. Employees want to belong to the organization. They want to be aware of the vision. They want to be part of the mission statement of the organization. They want employers to continuously listen to the feedback. This is one of the asks that is coming not just from tech sector, but even we have seen this in thousands of manufacturing customers that we serve, thousands of pharmaceutical, healthcare customers that we serve. Decisions should be based on the data, and employees want to stay engaged with the organization. If employees are not engaged with the organization, if employees are not feeling heard, then employees leave the organization, and there is a direct impact on the human capital and the productivity. I'm sure all of you know how difficult it is to hire good people in the organization, but the bigger impact happens when those good people leave the organizations. All of us are following the news, and AI is the talk of the town, right? Every organization these days has to quickly adapt to the changing technology. They have to bring in new tools, new machines, new processes. They have to train their workforce. So organizations have to be flexible and agile to rapidly change. So flexibility has to become a foundation of the organization as part of HR operating system 2.0. Growth is the currency. Last all the processes should be, all the processes, technology should be designed around the humans who are operating and leveraging those tools and technologies to make sure that we get highest productivity and performance from the workforce, and we optimize the human capital. With that, I would like to thank SME Chamber of India for giving us this opportunity to present and talk about human capital management and how you can optimize the processes. Thank you. So new labor code is, it has improved, it is extremely beneficial for the workforce, but it has definitely increased some compliances for the organization. We are still evaluating the laws. Those laws are coming now from state to state. We are introducing those process changes in our technology. But based on one of the things that we have seen is the labor code has been simplified a lot. Earlier, there were so many laws that companies had to follow. Now, all of that has been reduced to 4 major changes. So I think that will definitely have a positive impact on compliance burden. Any questions? Oh, sorry.
Hello, sir. 𝗕𝗵𝗙𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗠. About your HR, and you mentioned about the payroll part is an important part of any HR package.
Yes.
And you mentioned that you are processing about 30 lakhs or something payrolls. So how do you achieve this magic? It's online, means so many different organizations they are monthly you have to process the payroll.
Yeah. So when I say process the payroll, we are providing the tech platform. We are not doing the money transfer as such. What we are doing is we have automated the calculations, the data inputs that has to come from different managers, different departments. We collect that, our systems collect that data automatically, crunch the numbers, and generate the final payroll output that you can feed into the bank to process the payment. That's what my systems are doing. We have been doing at scale, and this has been our forte. Our focus has been to make sure SMEs of India stay compliant with all the regulations and make sure payrolls are processed on time with minimum effort.
So for example, suppose you want to process the payroll for 1 lakh employees, how much time it takes to generate the pay slip?
For about 1 lakh employees, we are talking about 30 to 35 minutes.
30 to 35 minutes?
Yes.
So it's a cloud-based or like system?
Yeah.
In 35 minutes, you're able to generate so many 1 lakh pay slips?
Yes.
That's wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we move on to our next speaker. May I request Ms. 𝗕𝗵𝗫𝗍𝗔𝗧𝗧, Associate Vice President, SME Platform, National Stock Exchange of India Limited, to deliver a very important and a useful presentation on a listing on SME stock exchange procedures and advantages for SME sector. Well, she's a host for this event, and of course, she's from the National Stock Exchange, so a great, and a big thank you to her for being so supportive. I think she came all the way from the airport. Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you.
Good afternoon, respected Salunke-ji, all the dignitaries on the dais, everyone present here. It's really a pleasure to have you all here at NSE. And I think I'm the session preceding lunch, so I'll try to keep it crisp and more interactive. So the idea is to just give a brief overview about our platform NSE Emerge, right? So the SME platform of NSE is what we call as NSE Emerge, and I'll first take you through some facts and figures of NSE Emerge. This was a platform which started in 2012. And since its inception in 2012, we have now over 700 companies. These are SME companies which have listed and raised capital, collectively over 22,000 crores of capital raised by these companies. And what's interesting is the figure which you see on the right, which is the market cap of these companies. So 22,000 crores raised is now having a wealth of about 2,22,000 crores. So in the process of listing, they've not just raised capital for themselves, but they've made wealth for investors and the promoters in this entire process. Another interesting stat which I'd like you to see here is the number at the bottom, 156. So out of these 700 companies, 150 plus companies have gone on to migrate to the main board, which means they begin in the SME platform, find their feet in being a public enterprise, and then eventually move to the main board so that they are getting a glimpse, and in the way they are also making wealth for the investors as well as the entire promoter ecosystem. This journey of 704 has been very peculiar. In the time when we started this platform, it was tough to find companies to list. So there have been years when we've done just 3 or 4 listings. It was very difficult to find companies. We took a lot of effort going through the length and breadth of India to explain what this platform is. And from there, I'm really proud to state that we've done 5 listings in a single day in 2025. So we've come a pretty long way. And the last 3 towers, I could call in the graph, really tells an interesting story. Over 350 of these 700 listings have just come in the last 3 financial years. So essentially what we've seen is post-COVID, the demand for capital continues to remain unmet. There are traditional banks which fill in the gap, still unmet. There are NBFCs which fill in the gap, still unmet. Then comes fintech. But still, there is a gap. We saw the entire private credit as a product and as a means of finance coming of age in the last 4 to 5 years. Still, the capital gap remains. So that's where somewhere the SME IPO market really fills in the gap. If you were to look at a typical journey of an SME or a startup company, starts with an idea. That's where generally it's self-funded, bootstrapped, or you get seed funding. As your idea begins to gain market acceptance, we go to the early stage. That's where probably you would see some venture capital take a stake, or you would get the first term loan from a bank. We have our industry colleagues from SBI here. And generally, I'm very proud. I'm also a product of SBI. So I'm very proud to say that SBI has green field financing. No one understands that better than SBI. That's where probably in a life of an SME, you see the first term loan coming where the first production starts. From the early stage, so now until this stage, we are basically talking of people who take risk. Risk on the idea, risk on the product, risk on the fact that your product finds a market. So that's where you will typically see PE or VC funding, which is very different from what public markets are. Public markets are not for funding risk, not for funding initial losses. That's where the private markets understand this better. When you move to the next stage, which is the growth stage, that's where your idea has a market. Your product has acceptance. What you need is money to scale. You want your production to go from 10 tons to 100 tons, right? Again, that's a gap where generally traditional bank finance is not able to meet. That's where you can approach capital markets. SME IPO fills in this gap. In every SME entrepreneur's journey, there comes a stage where you feel that I can't put more funds out of my own. How much can I take from banks and my friends and family? If I were to take from bank, again, I need collateral. Maybe my idea is such that I will not be able to take the burden of a fixed repayment. So all of these are considerations which come into the mind of an entrepreneur where growth capital can come in the form of an SME IPO. And of course, as we saw, as the company scales up with these funds, it can go on to become a main board listed company. I'll quickly take you through, not going too much into technicalities. The basic eligibility criteria, first and foremost, is it has to be a public limited company. So businesses which run on partnership firm or LLP or proprietorship basis, because we are talking about public capital markets, we are talking about shares being freely traded between one shareholder to another, it needs to convert to a public limited company. Besides which, as per SEBI regulations, companies which have paid up capital up to 10 crores can approach only the SME markets. Between 10 to 25 crores of paid up capital, either SME or the main board. About 25 crores of paid up capital, it has to approach the main board only. These are defined in what is called as the SEBI ICDR norms. When it comes to offering shares under an IPO, there is a minimum dilution of 25% which is required. In terms of disclosures, whether you approach the main board or you approach the SME board, the DRHP is in the same format. DRHP is basically, I could say, आपके कंपनी की जन्म कुंडली है वो, उसमें शुरू से लेके अंत तक क्या क्या हुआ है, आपका बिजनेस क्या है, आपने अभी तक कैपिटल कैसे रेस किया है, आपके मैनेजमेंट का क्या बैकग्राउंड है, आप ये IPO से जो पैसा रेस करेंगे उसका क्या करेंगे, क्या उद्देश्य है आपका, वर्किंग कैपिटल है, केपेक्स है, मार्केटिंग है, एक्विजिशन है, ये सब उसमें कवर करना है. एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंटली what you need to talk about is the risks associated with that. Earlier our MD Ashish Chauhan sir ji mentioned about the emphasis on corporate governance in public markets. What you're having here essentially is public who don't even know you. In NSE, we have over 12.5 crore investors. So you could have people from Jammu to Kanyakumari, from Rajkot to Siliguri, investing on your business without even coming into your factory. And they do that on the basis of the disclosures which you make. That is why the DRHP is a 300-page document. And that is why you need professionals to design that. And that's the role which a merchant banker plays. So in this journey of yours in getting listed, the merchant banker plays a pivotal role. Besides this, I'll take you through 3 simple eligibility criteria. To all the entrepreneurs here, please answer these 3 questions. Is your company in operations for more than 3 years? Anyone, those who meet the criteria, please raise your hands. Yeah. Is it having a positive net worth, which means if there have been losses in your business in the initial stages, have you infused capital and the losses are wiped out? So does it have a positive net worth? And is it generating cash flows? So the hands which are raised here, I can say on a very broad basis, you are the companies who are eligible to list on the NSE Emerge platform. While yes, there are many more technical aspects also. But what I'd like to do today is to leave you with this thought that capital markets are also for us. Capital markets are also for SME companies. They are not only for the Tatas, Adanis, and the Hyundais of the world. So keep this in mind as I take you through very quickly what are the broad listing criteria. So a minimum operating profit of 1 crore in 2 out of previous 3 years. The second is that the offer for sale component is capped at 20%. Anyone here can guess what is offer for sale? Yes. So offer for sale is basically where the fresh capital is not coming to the company. It is the existing shareholders which are selling this to the new shareholders through the IPO. Why is it capped at 20%? Doesn't it sound unfair for SME companies to be capped at 20%? If you recall, Hyundai, which is last year's highest IPO, was 100% OFS. So Hyundai ke liye 100%, but SME ke liye keval 20% sounds unfair? Right. So if I were to compare an SME company with Hyundai, the difference is that the involvement of the promoters in running the SME company is much higher, which means that if, as an investor, I see promoters diluting their entire stake, doesn't give me comfort. That's not the case with larger companies like Hyundai because they run on preset processes and are much larger at scale. So that's the reason behind capping the OFS at 20%. Same logic why the funds raised from IPO cannot be used to repay loans taken from promoters. The next one has come in 2024-25, which is that companies which are run in partnership firms or LLPs need to have a minimum cooling period of a year before they can approach the public markets, right? So to all the entrepreneurs here, if you've got an idea that you want to take your company public, if it's in a partnership firm, please convert it so that you are able to meet this 1-year cooling period. The next is basically, again, a change which was brought in 24-25, which is that the minimum application size is 2 lakhs. Again, if you were to invest, if you were to buy today, you can buy a single stock, a single share of Reliance or TCS or Infosys. But if you were to buy an SME scrip, you need to shell out at least 2 lakhs. Again, sounds unfair? Sounds unfair. Basically, the rationale behind that is that inherently, the risk of failure in SMEs is much higher than that in larger companies. Vis-a-vis larger companies, the risk of failure is much higher. One downturn, one unexpected shock can wipe out the existence of SMEs as compared to larger companies which are much more resilient. Second, the SME scripts itself are less liquid as compared to the main board. So what the regulator essentially is thinking is that the investors who are investing in this need to be able to set aside a minimum of 2 lakhs, which basically gives them that much more risk appetite vis-a-vis an average retail investor. So we want more informed investors to be on the platform who are able to stomach that volatility, that illiquidity, and the risk of failure which comes with an SME business. So that's the rationale behind introducing the lot size. Right, a few more technical things which I'll not get too much into. Since we also have some financial advisors here and the community of investment bankers, this one's especially for you. I would urge you all to think through and not just focus on what are your, typical assignments of tax and statutory audit, but you would definitely have a pool of SME companies where your investment or your, engagement with them goes beyond this. Like I said, the role of advisors, especially financial advisors in SMEs is very paramount. They look at you as a mentor. They look at you as a sarthi. Our MD sir again emphasized on the roles which professionals play in the entire journey of going public. So there's a lot more which you can do in terms of advisory, in terms of structuring it properly, in terms of bringing the company to the public markets and eventually handholding the company through their public market journey. And this journey starts with an interaction with NSE team. As we are all here, we are again very welcome to answer any of your questions, any doubts which you have in your mind. As I mentioned, the role of intermediaries is very paramount here. They prepare the offer documents, which is what is submitted to the exchange. We do a thorough due diligence and a vetting process of this, after which there's an in-principle approval which is accorded, which is valid for 12 months. So anytime in the 12-month window, you are free to open the IPO. And post-IPO is where the listing happens. So again, all the entrepreneurs here, we are really happy. We would wish to see you right here in this stage a few months down the line or maybe a year or two down the line, and we'll ring the bell together with you. We also very closely collaborate with various state governments because, again, SMEs form the backbone of our economy. So we have MOUs with 16 plus state governments where we work together to undertake awareness and outreach workshop, handhold and mentor the SME companies who are interested. And some of these state governments also provide a reimbursement, a financial assistance by way of reimbursement of the initial IPO expenses. Right. This is our contact details. Myself and my colleague Abhay are here. We are happy to take your questions. And also one thing which I'd like to share here is, while I have presented what is our perspective as the exchange, I'm happy to have Mr. Vitlani here from 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫, who's come down here at our request. Thank you so much. To share his perspective that how life was before listing and after listing. So I'm sure you will gain a lot of insights from him as well. Happy to take any questions. Yes. Can't hear.
जब तक आपकी आवाज़ हम तक पहुँचे, मैं एक सजेशन देना चाहूँगा. Parvati ji, whenever you are, inviting for the company for a bail, those companies that are going for IPO, I suggest we can invite 10 or 20 entrepreneurs from all India level to present that event.
Sure.
So that they can get an encouragement when I can list my company.
Wonderful, sir. Surely.
And also some companies, those are not listed, but those are having turnover, say 400 crore, 500 crore. Invite them, those companies listing on main board. So जाते समय ऐसे जैसे भिंदरन वाला भाषण देते हैं ना गुप्ता जी, तो जाते समय तैयारी से जाते वैसे निकलते समय आपके एनरोलमेंट करके जाना चाहिए.
बिल्कुल सर. Well taken, sir.
Parvati, hi.
Yes, sir. 1 full financial year is required. Yes. Yes, sir.
Hi, Parvati. My name is
Hi.
Sanjay. I'm a business consultant. A very simple question. If a company wants to go for an IPO, with so many merchant bankers available in the market, how does one identify which one suits the best?
I think this is a question better answered by our friend here. But as an exchange, what I would like to say is that all the merchant bankers are SEBI recognized, and SEBI, part of, they're audited by SEBI. They are SEBI recognized intermediaries. We are indifferent to any. Sometimes there is a misconception in many people's mind that only merchant bankers who've done 50 plus listings can do a successful job. That's not the case. We've handheld merchant bankers, especially the ones who are doing their first or second filing, and explain the entire journey of approval. So from that perspective, from an exchange's perspective, we are indifferent to which merchant banker you choose. The number of factors which will go behind, your choice of a merchant banker could be the economics, the timelines with which, so the number of mandates which they're already working on, so whether they will be able to devote that time to you, and probably their expertise in your sector, if it's a niche sector. So for example, we've had a company which was in the seed sector, and who told us that I had to choose a particular merchant banker because they are the only ones who understand the nitty-gritties of seeds, because it has an elongated working capital cycle, it doesn't work like any other manufacturing company, etc., etc. So whether there's anything specific, maybe, fintech or NBFC, something of that sort. And of course, what is their ability to get investors onto your issue, because the role in SME case is also that the merchant bankers underwrite the issue, which means that they are responsible for ensuring that your issue is fully subscribed. So what is their ability to bring investors? So broadly, from an exchange's viewpoint, any merchant banker who is a SEBI approved intermediary is welcome to file the documents with us.
Parvati ji, let me add something here.
Yes, sir.
See, this is a question amongst many entrepreneurs. Because they are not understanding, because small entrepreneur doesn't have that much knowledge, particularly for the which merchant banker we can advise. But मेरा ये सजेशन रहेगा, जो क्लाउडी ड्रीम बताता है ना आपको, एक आधा मर्चेंट बैंकर की मैं ये करूँगा, उनसे मत काम कीजिए. और उसके पहले आप क्या कीजिए, सेबी की वेबसाइट देख लीजिए कौन कौन से मर्चेंट बैंकर के ऊपर पेनलाइज हुआ है, सो दैट यू विल गेट आइडिया कि कौन से मर्चेंट बैंकर को हमें चूज़ करना चाहिए. बट रादर आई सजेस्ट, मैं आशीष जी के साथ भी बात करूँगा, कुछ ऐसे मर्चेंट बैंकर जो जेन्युइन है, जो मार्केट में लगातार बहुत सालों से है, अगर उनका हम लोग सजेशन है, गाइडेंस देते जाए, तो मुझे लगता है हमारे एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को एक अच्छा मार्ग मिलेगा, or they will success in the IPO and they will migrate to the main board also.
Sure, sir. So adding to what you said, in our website, we publish the last 6 months performance of the merchant banker. So what have been the cases which they've filed with NSE, how many have been approved, how many have been returned, how many have been asked to withdraw. So this entire performance of merchant banker is available on our website. Again, all the details of the issues which have been done are available on the public platform on our website as well as third-party website. And like you said, sir, in most of the outreach activities which we do with professional bodies or industry associations or state governments, we always try and bring a merchant banker to be in the forum so that Eventually, it is the SME companies connected to the exchange through the merchant banker. So they will be able to explain their perspective as to what they do, how they play a role in the journey. But well taken, whatever is the suggestion, more than happy to implement that. Yes.
Okay, my question is a practical question related to one startup with around 50 crore turnover, but not a profit-making one since last 3 years. Now, as per eligibility criteria, which I saw on the slide, they cannot come out with SME.
That's right.
Whereas on the main board, through QIP allocation of 75%, they can come.
Yes.
These are performing company invested by like big fund and all those things. So whether there is a possibility of any deviation, like company comes to NSE that please waive this eligibility criteria. Otherwise, this company is better than any other listed company on SME IPO.
So we would not be able to change the eligibility criteria for any one instance. The criteria remains the same for all companies who wish to approach. As such, for any company which wants to approach capital markets, there are two routes. One, like you said, is going to the main board, where if you don't meet the profitability criteria route, you can have the alternate route, which is called as the Regulation 6.2, in which companies which are yet to get profit can also open their IPO with a minimum 75% QIB. The rationale behind having 75% QIB is that it's the institutional investors who better understand risks associated with yet to make profit companies or loss-making companies or new age companies. In the SME platform, what we've observed is most of the investors are retail investors or HNIs. Basically, they're individuals. So A, that's why the threshold of 2 lakhs is higher. And B, because we don't have institutional investors yet on this platform, the inherent riskiness is something which we have to take care of, which is why there are norms associated with minimum profitability and cash flows.
See, just for public's interest in general, I'm talking about, say, mini Zomato. Zomato was also not profitable when they come. And QIB is willing to invest, say, 75%. So why small companies should be penalized if other criteria is met?
Sir, in fact, I would view it from the investor's perspective. If they are able to list on the main board, the liquidity is much better there. Why would they choose an SME board? All right, I think in the interest of time, if there are more questions, we are happy. We are very much here. Any more questions, we are here so that the session can continue. Thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful day at NSE. Thank you.
So as ma'am mentioned, I would like to invite on the stage Mr. 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗏 to share his experience with all of us. Can we please welcome him with a round of applause, everybody?
Hi, good afternoon everybody, respected dignitaries, fellow entrepreneurs, investors and bankers. I am privileged to be here on the Indian SME Finance and Investment Summit, a platform that truly represents our backbone of economy, which is Indian MSMEs. I am 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗏. I represent my company 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗧𝗔 Limited. We are an SME adhesive manufacturing company in India, and we recently accessed the capital markets through SME IPO on NSE Merge platform. Like most of the promoters in the room, our journey has been built with ambition, resilience, and constant adaptation. In the early years, the growth was never limited to demands or ideas. It was always limited to access of timely and structured finance. For SMEs in India, finance is not just about money. It's about confidence. The confidence to invest in capacity, technology, people, and new markets. Our decision to go for SME IPO was not just about raising funds. We were debt-free when we went for an IPO. And we've been debt-free till date since inception. So it was not only the finance part of it, which, why we went for an IPO. It was about institutionalizing the entire business. In IPO process, we were forced to strengthen our governance, improve financial discipline, enhance transparency and long-term thinking. What we gained was not the capital, but credibility with customers, bankers, suppliers, and employees. This credibility has opened many doors, which traditional kind of fundings from bank was not possible. So today, when I approach my client, or we've seen a lot of shift in case of hiring people. Initially, our size of company, when we want to hire people, you don't write guys, or the guys who are that genre who will come and help you grow. So after listing now, the perspective of a person changes of how he looks at the company. He knows that company is here to perform and define. And they show more. So the kind of crowd you filter when it comes to hiring is amazing, and we've personally noticed that. Yeah. The experience also reinforces a strong belief in me that Indian SME capital market is no longer an alternative, but a powerful growth platform. I believe that capital is not enough. The next phase of SME in India will depend on three key pillars. One is smart capital, not just cheap capital. Second is strong governance. As we were talking about governance. In SME generally, when we want to go public, we feel that there is increase in compliances, which is a headache. But what we have realized that increase in compliance is not a headache, but it has, the good governance, it unlocks your valuation to another level. It is a valuation multiplier, basically, when your governance is very, very strong. The transparent system and professional management attracts more capital and long-term partners rather than short-term partners. And third and the most important is true investor and entrepreneur partnership. So SME, we SMEs grow in a very, very different way than the large corporates. We generally do take risk, but sometimes the risk is very conservative. It's a different approach, basically. So the capital works best when entire investor understands SME life cycle and supports long-term value creation and not just short-term performance. Being an SME, people always say that यार stock नहीं बढ़ रहा है, आपका growth तो खाली 15-20% हो रहा है. But people need to understand, if your right investor is there, he'll take time and understand that we are not magicians. We are entrepreneurs and we grow at our pace. Some people have a different risk-taking ability, and some people have different. Some are on a higher side and some are on a lower side. And nothing is bad. Till the time you're consistent with what you're performing, it is good. I would like to say that we, Indian SMEs, are no longer a small ambition. We are exporting globally, we are manufacturing at scale, and we are participating in capital market with confidence. My message to all the fellow entrepreneurs here is prepare early, build credibility, and do not hesitate to explore market-linked capital. And one small request I have with investors, lenders, bankers, that, believe in SME balance sheet. And promoter is ready to take risk, support them, and the Indian growth story is going to be different in next decade. I would like to thank NSE to bring together all the stakeholders on this SME platform, SME ecological platform, and let's work together and in the coming decade and truly, truly show India that SMEs are the backbone for Indian ecosystem, for Indian growth, and that is what we are working towards. And let's promise ourselves that we are going to do it for the next coming decade. Thank you so much. Jai Hind. So this was a very, very formal speech, which I had a very, very short notice. Day before yesterday, Abhay Bhai called me, and he is like, later in the evening, and he's like, sir, you have to speak a few words. So I just prepared something. But on a very, very frank note, our journey, so this was my part of a formal speech. So my journey has been very different. We've been 40 years in adhesive manufacturing. We manufacture adhesives in India. My company is called 𝗬𝗑𝗏𝗏 by the brand 𝗬𝗏7. So we just got listed in December 2025. That has been 2 months. And the journey has been fantastic. The entire support what I got from, right from selecting the right merchant banker, because NSE had listed everything on the website, that what merchant banker has, achieved what threshold, how many applications were rejected. It helped us figure out the best merchant banker. To answer the gentleman's question who was talking to ma'am, that see, there is no right or wrong merchant banker. It is your comfort zone with the merchant banker, your comfort zone with respect to your with your valuation, what you decide for your own company. It is, if the merchant banker fits that bracket, you are good to go. Obviously, as ma'am said, he has to know your industry. Someone from your industrial background who's done a couple of IPOs from your industry would help you more and help you get and achieve better valuation than anybody else. So speaking about us, we got the right merchant banker. The NSE entire team was very, very, very supportive. It's been just 2 months, so I would not say that, things have changed very, very differently. We were working the same what we were working earlier, and today there's no difference. Compliances, yes, couple of compliances have gone up, but I guess even if you are not going for IPO in next 1 decade, now these compliances are going to be mandatory by the government in the next 1 decade. So don't hesitate doing this. It is a great platform, the way you unlock. We being a debt-free company also, we raise capital so that we can fuel, because see, as ma'am said, every company has a different, every promoter has a different mindset. We as a promoter, as they said that, the capital requirement and the kind of capital deployment after certain period, it's become difficult with respect to mindset. When the funds are open for use and you have a good product, good strategy and historic business, and you are confident in product, then why not go to the market, raise capital and fuel your growth so that you can go 5 times, 6 times or 10 times in next 1 decade, and why you grow 2 times or 3 times. So I'm very happy with this. Let's see how the journey goes further. Thank you so much. Wish you guys all the very best. Thank you. Yeah, please. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Just a very, very simple and practical question. To get listed with coming with the IPO, initially, how much investment you had to make and how much time it took you to at least break even? Initially,
sir, it's psychological, sir. Sir, what happens is we look at it as expense. We don't look at things as expense.
The investment or expense, both.
Sir,
it is
it is an investment. And that investment, initially there's no investment because your merchant banker will help you get the papers through.
Approximately, I'm asking the actual figures I'm asking.
Sir, actual figures, to be very frank, sir, we had a good cash book behind. So we never thought that what we are spending, we always thought that what we are building for the future. So those expenses are very, very minimal, probably 30, 40 odd lakhs with respect to compliance rating off, but nothing more than that, sir.
That's all.
Sir, what we've observed in SME IPOs is the initial issue expenses ranges anywhere between 8 to 12%. That's a very wide range.
8 to 12%.
Of the issue size. And the issue expenses are also raised from the proceeds of the IPO only. So in terms of the issue expenses, they would essentially consist of the bulk of it is the fees which you give to the merchant banker, the underwriter, the amount which goes for marketing of the issue. As regards the fees which are paid to the exchange in terms of compliance, the initial application fee for an SME is 25,000 rupees. And on an average, and on an average, the expenses for the exchange, which you pay to the exchange, is anywhere between 3 to 5 lakhs. So the bulk of the cost is essentially in the merchant banker And the reason behind that is because these issues are underwritten, which means that when they open the IPO, if they fail to get the required subscription, अगर 50 करोड़ का IPO है और केवल 40 करोड़ का ही subscription आया, तो 10 करोड़ merchant banker अपने जेब से डालता है इसमें. So that is why it is, yes, that is why it is relatively more expensive in terms of the initial cost as compared to raising debt. But if you were to look at it, this is what you would look at from, you wouldn't really be able to call it from a break-even perspective, but this is something which is like your debut in the capital markets.
So sir was asking about the pre-expense, I guess, if I'm not mistaken.
I think, okay.
Yeah.
So I think pre-expense is more about getting ready.
Yes,
which is
getting ready. It depends on your books, how straight are your books, how complied you are. If few things are not complied, your IPO will get pushed 4-5 months. Because those compliances with respect to, getting listed are mandatory. And trust me, sir, once you follow this, once your company is complied properly, it is a different fun of doing business because your entire focus is just on growth and nothing else.
Absolutely. So what you would do pre-IPO is basically get your systems right. So the right kind of ERP systems, the right people that you need to have until you become listed. Mostly it is a one-man show or it's a family-run show. You need to get your second, third rung of professionals to run the business. Head, you have a CFO, you have a, you have a HR function which is run separately, marketing which is run separately. So those are what you would take. And like you said, what this does is leaves the promoter with the bandwidth to take care of strategy and growth.
Exactly.
Rather than, we don't expect the promoter to be filing the compliance documents with the exchange. That's the role of the compliance officer, and that's where professionals come in.
So the organizational hierarchy is also important. Like you need to have a proper structure also.
Absolutely.
Sir, it happens gradually, sir.
Yeah, because most SMEs, they do not have like such a kind of...
Sir, that's what I said. It happens gradually. What happens is, sir, till now, that's okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you have any further questions? You have any further questions? You have any further questions?
No questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Success story of the entrepreneur. We do a lot of business activity. We take more tension about, business, money, supply chain, quality, competition, everything. And also we required some peaceful, some sessions where we can have a proper knowledge, proper hand-holding, proper guidance. Most of the company entrepreneurs are, facing a lot of problem for a different level. So हमने एक business सत्संग setup किया है. Business सत्संग ये सिर्फ धार्मिक के लिए नहीं है. ये है आपको mentoring, आपको एक अच्छा नॉलेज देने के लिए, एक कनेक्टिविटी देने के लिए. तो शाम को हम बुलाते हैं पार्टी के लिए, तो वहाँ कॉकटेल्स होता है, सब कुछ. बट यहाँ पर क्या होता है, माइंड सेट को कॉकटेल में कन्वर्ट करना. बहुत सारे डिफरेंट लेवल के नॉलेज गैदर करके हम उसको आगे बढ़ाते हैं. तो ये बिजनेस सत्संग हमने एस्कॉन टेम्पल खारघर के वैष्णव गिरी जी बैठे हैं यहाँ पर, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, उनके साथ में किया है. सो आई रिक्वेस्ट हिम टू शेयर सम आइडिया, particularly entrepreneurship development program, which is very useful for the existing entrepreneurs, their family members, their brothers, sisters, or even their main workforce, how to convert their idea into entrepreneurship level.
So good afternoon, everyone. Retreat to reform and transform for better performance. This you are seeing that it is a brainchild between SME Chamber as well ISKCON Navi Mumbai. It is essentially, we have been talking about it, we have been thinking about it. Business means wealthiness, wealth. They are in the wealth creation. But for that wealth which manifests from intellect, that intellect also could be a limited one, it could be an unlimited one. But that intellect is dependent on two things. Number one, on your body, and on your mind. If your body is not supporting, as someone was mentioning, that an entrepreneur has to do everything and he should not fall sick. So he can fall sick on the body platform as well as at the mental platform. So he has to ensure himself that he is physically fit and mentally balanced. Then he can use his intellect. But above that intellect, there's one more is there, his consciousness. If the consciousness is global, he will be a different personality. Whereas if his intellect is very small, which is generally for the entrepreneurs, they have the scale-up problem. The scale-up problem will get eliminated in 1 second, in 1 minute, if your mindset gets changes. So for that, what you require is you have to reform, transform. The moment you transform, then the better performance comes into the picture. So we made some programs. Actually, this is the one for everyone. We made a 7-day program, and we have a 3-day program. And some people don't have time. So for them, we have a half-day program. And mind that another important thing is, workforce is this real force. They should be energized. They should be energized. Even how much you try to push, if your people really don't support, really you can't make it. So you should have a real support from your people. So in 2024, McKinsey's report of 500 CEOs all over the world clearly showed that it should be inside-out performance, inside out. Then they understood and they have analyzed the one point that unless the people connect to themselves, connect inside, they cannot really bring a big change, or they cannot become a change maker. So the entrepreneurs, our suggestion is that let there be good connect to yourself. Means, what is your potential? Potential is unlimited. There was a talk, infinity. When you talk about infinity, there is an in, if you separate it, is finity. So we are connecting, we are thinking about only finite things. But the infinity comes if you add in, that in is in you. And that changes only when you have a satsang. Actually, what is meant by satsang? There's a real understanding, satsang. Sat means eternal. Sat means infinity. So then that can come in 1 second. It just comes in 1 second. But that 1 second comes from where? With whom? At what time? It's unknown. So to give this opportunity, we have really come up with this idea. And our motto is, our Chandrakantji and ours, the motto is one. Entrepreneurs are wealth creators. They are wealth creators. They should be given health and wellness. So we want to give the health and happiness. We want to become the health and happiness creator for them. Our proposal is that, actually, if you look at the Ikigai principle is that how to live 100 years. Whereas our process, our method, our approach is how to stay 100 years as a leader. So leadership 100 is our proposal, rather than living 100 years. So if you come and stay with us, learn 3 days, we will assure you 100 years leadership, 100%. It is our assurance. And during lunchtime, we can show you our 10 deliverables. In the 10 deliverables, we will see, we have clearly mentioned, we will implant in your heart, in your brain. Because brain is such a great thing. It's like a consciousness. I can take another 2 minutes. Say, in a highly fertile land, whether you put mango tree or any other, mango seed or any other seed, that fertile land will never discriminate. It will just grow. So the moment you make fertile consciousness, whether you talk about 5 crores, 500 crores, or 5,000 crores, it is your limitation. Consciousness is not consciousness limitation. This is the message. When it goes, then the story is different. And whether you may think, oh, I'm already 60, I'm already 70, what I should, so it's time for retire. No, you should really understand that you have minimum 100 years life. Even if you start thinking right now, you can make it. And there is one also one should remember, it's called universal time frame. The universal time frame is 30 years. Anything you can grow to the extent you want, let it be sky's limit, but you should have a patience of 30 years. The moment 30 years you put it yourself, even if you start at the age of 70, for example, our ISKCON founder Acharya, he started his journey at the age of 70. He went at 70, and within 10 years he made whole thing, and the story is something different. So it's applicable for everyone with the consciousness, with our unlimited thinking, infinity thinking. It's possible to be done, and it doesn't take much time. Could be half a day, could be 3 days, could be 1 day, but right place, right people, and right way. Thank you very much. So we have these brochures available. I'll just give it to you. And all of you are most welcome. You will find a life of big difference. Actually, the place, it is in Navi Mumbai. It is the second largest temple in the world. Has been inaugurated 1 year before by our respectable Prime Minister of India. And there's a place of education, place of culture, and place of devotion. You will find that your life is something different there. Thank you very much.
Acharya ji, means you want to say that become a more healthy.
Yes.
To become more and more wealthy.
Healthiness and wealthiness, yes. Healthiness, wealthiness. That's what I was just thinking about when I saw that our rupee symbol. So similarly, we can also connect it. Wellness and healthiness go together. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming towards the end of the summit. We would like to present a small token of appreciation to all the speakers. I will request Shri Tuhin Kanta Pandey sir to please come forward and present the first memento to Shri Durgesh Pandey, Chief Executive Officer and the whole-time Director of National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company Limited. We would like to present the next memento to Ms. Monu Jain, Partner, 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗍 Capital. Can we please have a thunderous round of applause for all the speakers, everybody? Next, we would like to present the memento to Shri Lokesh Gupta, Vice President, Product Management, 𝗕𝗵𝗇 Software Private Limited. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, as we present the small token of appreciation to Ms. Parvati Murthy, Associate Vice President, SME Platform, National Stock Exchange of India Limited. Thank you so much, ma'am. All of you, thank you so much. Let's take one group photo, please. Requesting all of you to come a little ahead. With this, I'll request Shri Mahmood Khan, Vice President, Banking and Government Agencies, SME Chamber of India, to come forward to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Respected 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 Salunke Sahab, Chairman, SME Chamber of India, Mr. 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗀 Pandey ji, MD and CEO, 𝗕𝗫𝗃𝗃, it's very typical to make it. Monu Jain ji, partner Aavishkaar Capital, Lokesh ji and Parvati ji. So now we have finally come to an end of very insightful discussion and deliberation put forward by honorable speakers and very senior dignitaries on dais. One thing is very loud and clear today, that India growth story cannot be driven by large corporation or unicorns alone. Millions of SMEs are going to contribute positively for our growth story. That is for sure. I mean, in fact, if you look at our, as our SEBI chairman was explaining, almost 1/3 of our GDP is contributed by SME. So we cannot ignore. And one very important fact, SME being capital starved, they are contributing more than 45 to 49% of our export. And you understand how much export is important for our country's growth and development. There are few suggestions. In fact, I always believe that when we talk about manufacturing sector, for any manufacturing of any product, I always believe that economy of scale cannot be necessarily be achieved by large corporation only. There has to be lot of small companies coming together, making each component of a particular product, and they are able to achieve better economy of scale. If you see, probably जो गांधीनगर में जो shirt बना देगा, जो economy of scale से probably large corporate will not be able to achieve that. So that I always believe that is the role of SME in our country's growth and development. There are few suggestions which are very important for us to understand. If we are not able to segregate the credit growth, in fact today morning I was listening to Mr. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏. He was explaining that we have achieved credit growth of certain very significant number he was mentioning, but the reality, if we have to bifurcate that, you need to understand between micro and small and medium enterprises, probably we'll be able to find there is a significant improvement required in SME, which is very, very important. Probably micro and small and very, very small companies are able to get funded by a lot of tech platform and everything. So the idea of bringing technology in lending to SMEs are very essential at this point of time. So that is very, very important suggestion. Another one which is very important to understand for all of us, because we talked about SME listing, and in fact we have very positive outlook in capital market. I have a suggestion for our chamber, in fact, and with people sitting here, that we have to have a proper platform to educate the promoters or SME owners, because and we have to give certification also. That should be required in long term. Probably it may be like for a mutual fund distributor, you give certification. Why not we train and become more compliant and become, follow better corporate governance, so that they should not falter in later time during their IPO process, or they should not be making any wrong decision later on. So that is very important. Mutual funds are not participating much in SMEs. So, and there are small gems, there are very good companies in SMEs also. So they have to have separate deep research on SME sector, so that at the time of IPO, they can also participate in like IPO process and all these things. So as I mentioned, technology for credit expansion in SME is very essential. There has to be tech platform which should help SMEs to borrow money, like we've achieved in this thing. And I would request Mr. 𝗕𝗵𝗔𝗍𝗃 also to support SMEs little more. In fact, there is a strong headwind every SME client face, even if government is pushing a lot. But SMEs are struggling to get funding from banks. Even with a lot of push and support from government side, I think it will ease out with over a period of time. So with this note, I would like to thank everybody for coming here, and would like to welcome. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. With this, we conclude India SME Finance and Investment Summit here. Please join us for lunch. It is served in the pre-function area. You can take the exit from your left and my right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead.